Hi everyone. So this is Wheatpick here, and I'm joined with Pandobra, and we're going to be bringing you the Week 5 Skilling Cup 2020 recap here. So how you doing, Pandobra?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. I'm just excited to get into these matchups.
Exactly.
Very, very big week, I think.
So we've we're both essentially at a point where we haven't paid a lot of attention during the week, and we're kind of doing our homework as we go. And we're going to delve into this thing, and we haven't spoiled too much for ourselves, and we're going to see how the entirety of the league played out in week 5. And we might have some surprises for you guys as we delve into some of the matchups, right? So first of all, I think the way that we're going to look at this to do with our little surprise here is that I'll try and get that first one ready. Is that we're gonna move through 3 matchups, and then we're going to look at one on our own at the end here. So let me get our first surprise ready. We're actually going to be joined by some special guests, Pando and I, as we move through the matchups, and we're going to see how we're going. And here's our first special guest now, and that man is Speed.
I'm a big fan of this person.
Yeah, how are we doing?
What's up?
Yo.
Yo.
So what we're going to be doing, Nick, is we're going to look at the GVG versus Cantering Caliphides matchup together. So I'm streaming it here on Discord, if you want to look at my screen. And we're gonna delve into these. So we're gonna have some more special guests coming along the way. We're bringing one in for each matchup. So first of all, we can kind of see here that at least initial impressions is that GVG blew them out of the water. Unfortunately, Cantering Caliphides have continued their trend of unfortunately rolling over and dying.
They're 05 there, right?
Ooh, they are.
Yeah,
they are indeed
05.
05. Yeah.
Oh, Look at that 7th place team, 2-3, and 8th place is 0-5.
Yeah, so
that is rough.
Yeah, this league has some very nice breakpoints in the sense that we have like these top end teams, then we have the 3-2s, the 2-3s, and then we have Candrin they've kind of suffered every week consistently.
There's 3 tiers, and they're the only team in their own tier.
Yeah. It's like in if you've seen Moneyball, and they give that analogy about like all the teams in like in tiers, and there's like 50 feet of shit, and then that's where Cantering Caliphides are at. But it's disappointing, right? Because I thought for the first couple of weeks is that Cantering Caliphides, I think they have a really great roster. So it's like,
yeah, man.
I think they do. I still think that they have a great roster. So it's more so unfortunate to see. It's not like they're a team that can't perform, at least that's what I think. So let's look at the problems here. See if we can delve into what's happening on KK, because to this day I maintain that I still think that they have a great roster. You look at this. Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like some people aren't trying as much as they could.
Yeah. So we look here, guys. Every week they've been playing Scott for obvious reasons, but I think they've had a little bit of trolling go on here.
This is a big trolling at the bottom here.
Yeah. So Delibero, I'm gonna butcher some names over this.
Delibera.
Yeah.
I like Delibero, man. That's how I see it in my brain.
Yeah, I apologize to people in advance for butchering names, but yeah. So Delibera coming here with a 30. This guy's actually performed in previous weeks. I've seen him, so he is capable. Maybe something came up or something like that. What are we even doing 30M? We're looking at Herblore agility. That's fine. So maybe they called it quits early, something like that. So there's a multitude. So when people are this low, I usually assume that it's like being called quits or something like that.
Bro, it even looks to me like Pogba intentionally played less. Pretty sure that's lower than his average week.
Yeah. Pogba plays higher than that. He's I have a player on my team similar to
like a 300 month.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let's have a look here. He's on a 320 month doing a 63 week. So there's something up here in terms of what was he? So he was
maybe like no 6 hour.
Yeah, that could be it.
He has 880k strength XP and no fishing, so.
Yeah, so he's
some zone there.
He's been out on some
definitely
walks. Yeah. So that's
fair. Some walks. Yeah, how he said.
Yeah, he's been out on
a bit too many walks.
Yeah, too many night walks.
You know what I think he's doing? You know how there's that 4-hour warning? I think he sees that and he's like, yeah, you're right, I should get up, and then he goes to the zone for 2 hours.
Exactly. That's fair.
For the last portion of the 6 hour to balance it out, man. I don't know.
So Pogba and Delibera are capping out the bottom of this roster. Maybe things like but Pogba looks like he hit mid lane and intentionally fed a little bit, and then
Pogba not looking.
Delibera didn't even connect to the game, I think.
He didn't get through character select, and Pogba just kind of ran it down. So that's fair, you know. It's an unfortunate bottom because when I saw that this matchup was going to happen, one thing that I thought is that this should be a pretty even-ish matchup, and that's not a rag on GVG. Like, I think GVG are a great team, by the way, but it's just I
think
thought
GVG has been actually I think a really good way of looking at these teams is that I think GVG has really overperformed to people's expectations, and KK
really
complete
underperformed.
opposite.
I think that's exactly
for the whole season, pretty much.
Yeah. No, so I thought coming into this that this would be like, you know, a pretty fair fight, and that they would go at it and keep a similar pace for a little bit, because I don't like to, like, we versus KK in week 1, and by we I'm on the Crows, right? So and KK had a brilliant, but I don't like to use week 1 because everyone looks like amazing in week 1, but they certainly can do things like this. Like, if we move up a little bit, so I think Zeem was getting, like, what's RS3? Is it 5.4? Is that where it's at?
5.6.
5.6? My bad.
No,
they've got the new one.
It is.
Yeah, okay, no. So I'm actually like, okay, it's like too recent. Okay, so it's 5.6.
Bro. You're
that sounds weird. So Zeem was doing 5.6, I believe, right? This happened quite soon.
Potentially, actually, yeah. I'm not sure if he was going for 99.
Yeah. Okay, so he's hitting the BF like half of fantasy. That's fine.
I've never seen that one before.
BF.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, BF
the
with
new easy HP.
I think someone described it to me as Artie with an extra step, so it's kind of fair.
Some people even go as far as saying easier than Artie, which I don't know how that's even possible, man.
Okay, well, like, I think they're trying to drag it down a little bit further than usual, but that's fair. Okay, so remember that original point that we made there, or at least that I was saying, right, is that I think KK is like a fine team. They have a great roster. So look at this 1 to 5. You couldn't tell me that this 1 to 5 is a team that would be indicative of being 05. That's like all these, like,
top 4 is so good, man.
Yeah, exactly. So all their top 4. Poucher was, you know, and he's completely capable. I don't know his work situation. I remember he sent a very large message to all the managers pre-draft. Essentially, it was a novel about, and I respect it, by the way. This is a good thing. It was essentially a novel about how his hours will differ depending on work situations. But at least in that message, he said that, you know, if he's free, he can do 110s consistently. So
easy, bro.
Yeah, and he has proven that. He has, like, played really well in weeks. We'll look at the player tab later, but he's played really well. And then Hiddy, one of the better player captains in the entire comp. But I think these numbers look somewhat low because when you're losing, because you got to, when you're losing early, you sometimes just give up and you slow down because there's not much point to going through. Yeah.
Especially if you see this number 8 on the team, he sees 38-hour week.
Yeah.
Like, this is not happening.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll learn later that a 7v8 doesn't necessarily mean that you lose. So
we'll know what that means. But
I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll get to that one later.
I legit don't know. It'll be a surprise for me.
Yeah, that's some friendly fire. But yeah, so Karina, Gay Trades, very hot property coming into the draft. I think Gay Trades has stepped it up every week, actually, that he's been playing in fantasy, to be honest. Like, he's
a beast, man.
Yeah, he's a really, really good player. I remember talking to him before fantasy, and he was really, really eager. Actually, I talked to this dude in, like, October. Like, you know, when fantasy was like
eager. I thought you said he's really ego.
No. He's very EAGR. Yeah, EAGE.
Yeah, huge ego gamer.
EAGER. Okay, there we go. I'll spell. Yeah, huge ego by Wheatpig. There's the quote. But, you know, because remember, fantasy was, like, kind of getting planned in October, and I talked to this guy very early, and he was, like, keen back then. You know.
Yeah, man.
So you know, a global pandemic wasn't even keeping everyone inside at that point, and this man just wanted to sit at the computer and just hammer it out. So
I feel like most of the people in this game do that, though.
Yeah,
half these dorks wouldn't even be playing, including me.
That's fair. We'll come into an interesting tidbit later about how Corona maybe has affected the comp a little bit. In terms of like how the rules are set out and stuff like that, and then we'll look at Scott, okay? But essentially, actually, we'll go back real quick. Also, I'm on Australian net, so you're like, if you see these web pages load slow, like there's your reason. But
you're fine, dude.
Yeah. But this 2 to 5. Borsey, has he come back recently? What's his month?
He just always plays the same.
Yeah.
He plays 80s all the time.
He's on the exact same month as Pogba. Okay, yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, perfect.
I mean, they're account sharing, so...
Yeah. So we launched some prayer, and then we did some more arty with an extra step. Like, I don't want to... The reason... you can't... I'm not
he's
trashing.
Almost done, bro. He's done.
Yeah,
he's done the game.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of skills left.
He has no choice.
He has like 140 mil agi.
Bro, it's the opposite for him, man. He's 13k up, and he's doing smithing.
Yeah. That's... DMP
looking
would
a little
be rolling in his grave. Oh my god, all these fast skill. Oh, okay, here we go.
He's got 2.5k Kraken.
This is a really nice AFK buffer for the rest of this.
Man. 50 mil.
That is really well
bro.
planned. So you're sitting at 14 mil RC with 50 mil agility. So you're in the runner Discord, just running those roofs, baby, and you're not running out anytime soon. That is some good planning right there. While you're looking for runners, that's oh god, is it like except I don't know, like except for that.
I don't know, man. He could be 200 mil agi or 200 mil RC with 50 mil agi. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you saying, bro? You trying to talk shit?
I'm just saying it's possible, you know. Like...
Yeah, not a fan of trading at the altars. We all know. Okay, but yeah, so. He's wrapping his old jazz up. Is Borsey a comp player? Like, or is he someone?
No,
okay.
Does not
care. Yep. Okay.
Usually.
Yep. So he's similar. He's similar to a lot of the Finns that are currently playing in fantasy right now. A lot of them just kind of independently do their own thing, and that's fine and dandy. So we'll go back here. I didn't look at Scott. I went to go back to Borsey real quick, but we didn't look at Scott. We'll look at Scott. He doesn't, and he's going to be in a similar case as Borsey, is that he's essentially done, and he's just working on whatever. Like really,
skills left. Still has Herbler, which is pretty pretty impressive, I guess.
He'll be
respectable.
Finishing at the void. You don't really have to sit at the farming guild when you're about to finish 4, like when you're about to finish 200 mil all anymore. But not much. Okay, so that's the thing with people that are finishing this game, right? Is that there's really not much to say about
minutes left.
Yeah, about their skill choice. It's more like what he's just doing. How much does he have left?
That's
300.
That's 700.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it was 15. Never mind.
Oh, there it is, 270 or whatever. 270.
It's here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. So he's kind of a triple digit week in fantasy is fine, especially for his team, like and where they're at.
But, he could have gone harder too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think when you're kind of a champion like Scott and you're on a team like this, you almost start to detach yourself from the team a little bit. I mean, in terms of like how much you care about fantasy. So maybe some of that is happening here, and he's like kind of, I'm not speaking for him, by the way, but like maybe there's some of that, I'm just gonna play for myself sort of thing going on right now, just considering where KK are at. But all in all, look, they're 0-5. It's they're obviously they are out of playoffs, but I still maintain even from week 1 is that I think that this fantasy, okay, it's so hard to say with an 0-5 team, but all 8 teams in this fantasy are fine. Like they are fine. They're good teams, right? It's just unfortunate how Cantering have been playing. But yeah, so we'll move over to the winner. Do you guys have any ending thoughts on KK?
No, I think he's pretty much said everything.
Yeah. Real quick, how are they going this week? They're into the Bears, who we'll talk about later, who are really picking themselves up by the bootstraps, and they're doing really, really well right now. But yeah, so at least KK looks like they're fighting, so that's good. They're playing, but 32 out the gate. There's really not much to say about how invested they are, but that's fine. I'm glad to see them, logging in at least. So we move over to the winners here. GVG, a team that really everyone doubted from the get-go.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
because of their locker.
They even lost Arnett too.
I mean, I just see like Ritvik. I'm like, there's no way people want to play on that team.
So I was drinking water. Yeah. So the locker room is quite questionable. Now, my doubts with this team was how well they could field an 8, at least out the draft, right? I'm talking like before week 1, as I was thinking, man, so what's their 8 that they're going to field look like? This sort of struck me as a team that fields 6 and then tacks on 2.
But they've been finding them. It's impressive. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So the thing. So I was going to lead into, right, is that at least me personally, I've been proven wrong. This team is actually one of the more in the later part of the season, and we have some notes. We have a segment coming on later where we'll talk about some of the other teams, right? But they've actually, at least, I don't know what you guys think, but I think they've become one of the more consistent teams later in fantasy in terms of like the average metric of their hours throughout the whole team. Like their bottom.
For sure.
Bottom and their middle are just very close to each other. Like, yes, we have low EHP, kind of apt to be at the 8th spot with the name low EHP, but their bottom to their middle is like the exact same player almost in terms of their hours.
For sure.
So
mostly they're like middle.
Just
like all within a few hours.
They've just been managing to always find those like 6 or 7 like hundreds pretty much, and it's been working out really well for them.
Mm-hmm. And so like imagine this, right? So they obviously they've taken this win and they did. It's adjusted slightly. Sorry, what was it? It is they did a 750. Oh, it was barely adjusted. They did a 754 win. Fine. And obviously they could slow down because they had it for free. Pretty easily into the thing. Into the week, sorry. And imagine they could, like, if things, worked out differently or however IRL situations work out, they could have had a player that they no longer have available most of the time, sitting around at the top of here with Arnat, like you mentioned before, pushing out this 8th. That is an amazing team.
Pretty crazy to think what would happen if they had Arnat this whole time.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't think that they're Arnat dependent. But at the same time, is that like they're still performing really well, and they're fielding like they're 7 through to 2. They're all I'm not going to say they're close, but they're all playing and they're all doing some really consistent weeks. So let's dive into it. Low EHP at 73. I think this guy works and stuff. I've talked to him very briefly. So yeah, he did some Bibles, did some Arty. It's fine and dandy. It's good to see.
Did he actually work
moving up the ranks?
Though?
I think he just always has stuff going on or something.
Yeah, what's his 70? Is this his record? I think he's done like a big. Oh, so this is actually very close to his record week.
What?
So that's
what?
That's fine.
76. He's my. I guess he hasn't had to play a lot because he started more than once. That's crazy.
I don't know how many weeks he's played or anything, but I like. The thing is, though, is that if this is a consistent trend for him to play at this level, like I think that's actually fine. Like if this is like the best that he can give from week to week, and he's playing around that level, then like you're rostered on, you're doing what you're like what like people are probably asking of you.
If this get like a easy floor of 75 with low EHP, if you just like throw him
exactly.
in any week,
So like I'm of the opinion that if you like if someone is doing this as like kind of one of their best efforts and they can consistently do it, then they're serving their purpose, right?
For sure.
You'd be silly to expect a 120 at a low HP all of a sudden. So. But you can at least be happy in the fact that this man will give you 75. And I'm just trying to see a bright side to it, at the very least. I think it's like honestly fine. Sense. Yeah,
like you said, man. Like we said, man. They've been consistently filling in the gaps. So he's just one of the players that's managed to help them round out the roster.
Exactly, because they took the win this week, and like you'll see in some other teams, like in KK, like their bottom was on a 30, or like some people's bottoms are not logging in because they can't even field 8. But like I'm not even racking that performance. Good job to round out your roster there. So Jonas coming in here with his 82 of fishing of this is the thing.
This is 2-tick.
Yeah, it's 2-tick. I was looking for the agility and the strength. I don't know the accounts.
He's level 3.
Oh, hold on.
No, Eunice. This is.
Oh no! Right.
Yeah. Sorry. I said Jonas, but like I guess you say the J. Yeah. So he's not getting strength.
There's only one of them now, so it's all good.
Yes, true. So he's doing yep. So he's been doing 2-tick. That's a really solid 2-tick. 2-tick has definitely been the flavor of fantasy for fishing for sure.
Because flavors, Smithing and fishing, bro, the two easy dog shit skills.
Well, with two-tick right, you just look at Runelight and you just look at the indicator that goes like red or green, and you just click it when it's like one of the colors is like on the screen, and you continue to do that ad infinitum. It's really not that intensive of a method or anything, but it's very easy to maintain. I've heard from people. I've never done the method myself. I've only ever been at pond. But
I've never done it either. But I've done 2-tick wood cutting, and I heard it's easier than that.
Yeah. No, it is easier than that. I messed around with the autocast fishing. It's a tangent, but like the autocast fishing when that was like, and that was like really fun. I think this is the same motion, but a little bit of a step down.
I actually think long term it's a bit easier to get. They can get a bit better up with barb, but for a lot of these players, 2-tick fishing is just such a good method, man.
Well, it's like because like 2-tick, your brain can be off and you're on 0.95 or 1-to-1.
Yeah,
like you are not thinking at the battle station when like you're when you're doing that. So it's allowed for some big records in fishing to go. I really like, what I really enjoy seeing is the 6-hour and the 30-hour records for 2-tick, because a lot of people have been practicing the method, and there's some people up there that have like really kind of refined it a little bit. The only downside to the method is that and this is just in terms of records, by the way, is that like there's a lot of RNG near the end of your 6-hour or 30-hour, because the catch rate is a lot lower than like what it is at like barb. So when you log in to try and get that extra 5 or whatever it is, or 5 to 10 minutes at the very end, then it's really whoever can get the most fish at the very end in terms of people that are similarly skilled will come out on top. But anyway, you can get icons on here? No way. I didn't even realize. Okay, so we have Rithvik. Yeah. What even is that, man? That's pretty beast.
I just always see him with that. I have no idea what it is.
So $50 in the hole. Thank you, says Michael. Rithvik with the 91. Actually, just real quickly, I think Rithvik has been a really consistent player in fantasy.
He's been popping up. He plays 90 every week.
Rithvik has been doing... Is that Supreme? What is that?
I'm pretty sure he plays like a lot. Even
it is. I'm sure it is, man. He loves Supreme.
Yeah, no, he used to like. I used to talk to him about it. He does like he buys all the Supreme stuff. There's the chess pieces. Yeah, this is beast. I love it. He's pimped out. It's like pimp my profile on Temple. Let's go. But yeah, so I think Rithvik is actually, he was really keen for fantasy, at least from what I talked to him, and he has actually done. I was like looking at his performance like a couple days ago, and I was just looking through the teams, like, at a cursory glance. He's performed every week that he's been playing exactly as what he at least he told other people that I've talked to, including myself. He's doing exactly what. And one thing that I like with Rithvik is that I remember I was watching his stream once. He's really honest with the efforts that he wants to put into playing, right? And in terms of like the methods that he chooses. So like. If he's feeling a bit tired and he's like doing barb or something, that man hops to 2-tick immediately, and then he just continues playing from there, right? And so he's kind of playing just to suit how he's going at the time. I think that's pretty smart from a player who wants to be, a consistent foothold in their team. So what's he doing here?
Yeah, I definitely think Rithvik was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Panda.
No, that's it. I just finished.
Yeah.
Oh, I really think he was a really good pick, especially for GVG, because he seems to fit in quite well with their team. I think it would have been like an unreal pick. I just saw today that they picked him like 17th or something crazy like that.
Really, really high. Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think anyone would have picked him for a while after that. But either way, I mean, it wasn't a bad pick. It was definitely a pretty good pick.
For sure. I would have taken Rithvik late into the draft, 100%.
Oh man, he would have been a gnarly sleeper.
Yeah. That man, like at least to me, like right, from like sitting from the draft point of view, I wouldn't have left that man on the table at all. I don't care who he vibes or who he doesn't vibe with. Like if you're sitting at pick 105, Rithvik available, like you snap that up. Sure. Yeah, of course. So like, I think he's been performing really well, and he's enjoying.
I can tell you for sure he's had no problems with his team, so there's no team issues at all.
Yeah.
Now we have to go back and check what pick 105 was. See who you're flaming just now.
I don't even know if I was pick 105. I realized, man, we're not gonna have time to go into every single player. We've got 3 more matchups, but all these I'm actually really interested in. We're gonna do it anyways, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes in. Oh yeah, we should probably look at the first matchup, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Pando and I already talked about it. If this just becomes like a multi-hour thing, then like it does, and it's still gonna all get uploaded.
2-hour podcast, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Not bad.
Well, we're keeping everyone on the edge of their seats for who else is coming on as a guest.
We can just rename this podcast.
Yeah,
instead of
I feel like the next guest is gonna be Rig. Am I right?
Rig.
Yeah. Well, let's just say he's a little golden.
No, I will tell you though is that I did try and like talk to like a sort of like loosely related streamer to fantasy to get on just for the memes.
Damn, that would have been sick if Bodie got on, man.
Yeah, exactly. S on my chest,
I
Bodie.
Connections, but he was asleep, so couldn't get him right now.
Yeah, what's the sub month at, Pando?
The what?
What's the like your don't you have like a high sub count?
Oh yeah, like 34 months. I'm not actually. We'll get into that later.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But yes, we have Shop. He's okay. He's been at
another very high pick, but a really good performer for them as well.
Yeah, exactly. So very very similar to 25% of fantasy. These are just like fine performances. It's just like there's not much to more elaborate on in the sense that it's BF and yeah. So like great. Oh, yeah, great, awesome. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah, no, I think people that I think in terms of an 8-man fantasy, people that are consistently hitting the roster week to week and doing 90 plus are surging their team forward. They're really
sure.
GVG have really picked it up, but only in the last couple of weeks have they started to play like this. To be honest, like in week 1 as well, they did very well. But that's why I think they're one of the more consistent teams. Let's see what Dan's doing. Fastett we'll actually talk about later. I think he's like a player to watch. I don't really know much about him, but we'll talk about him later. Yeah, I think he's a very... We'll go back to his profile at another point, but I think he's a very good player. But yeah, we have Dan. Dan's been slaying, I assume. He's been slaying and streaming, doing a little bit of... Oh, God. No, I don't know his account, so... Is he doing 2-tick?
He's kind of close to finishing.
He does 2-tick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's in one... Of course, yeah. Yeah, if you're at 191 agility, you really don't want to be doing 2-tick. I would assume you would... Oh, sorry, so you really wouldn't want to be doing barb, is what I mean. Use up the rest of that precious agility. So yeah, he's been slaying. You know, funnily enough... Yeah, Slayer has been a rarity in fantasy this in this season. It's not it's not as prominent as I thought it would be, considering a lot of task sets are pretty easy to get 1-to-1 on.
Yeah, a lot of people have been doing Slayer recently too, so it isn't that much. Yeah, you're right. For sure. It's like only ones I can really think of that are doing it like pretty full time are like Eero and Moxie.
Yeah. So and players like Eero, Erex, you know, they're doing the 65k an hour Slayer where they do like melee blood velds and stuff, and that's a really really good I think method for fantasy. So I thought more people would utilize that. But maybe it's people just don't like spec transferring, or they don't have a scythe, or you don't need a scythe actually. You can do it with a rapier and bulwark, but
no, you can get full 1-to-1, scythe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing they just don't want the melee XP or something. Or
that's true. Yeah, too much time in the school zone or work zones. That's fair. So Aziz, he maxed recently, so he shot up the high scores. This man is...
He's doing Slayer now, speaking of Slayer, actually.
Yeah, this man is done. Was not done, but you know what I mean, right? This man's sitting at 11k EHP out of nowhere.
So many people on every team, bro. They're just like a year off now, or less.
It's this is the first fantasy where we're dealing with people they're in fantasy and they're finishing. They're finishing in fantasy, which is it's really something to behold.
I mean,
sorry, you go.
This week you guys got a dork that's done.
Yeah, exactly.
This week, so.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Where at least the Crows are playing. We're playing Tom DeBomb this week. We're playing Korean Girl on his ult. He's gaming for the boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, insane.
Yeah, so he's having some fun with Killzone, so that's good. So Aziz, he's been. Oh, what is this? Damn, look at this,
bro.
Christ, man.
No,
that's a lot.
Actually, I think that's kind of low, is it?
No, I don't know.
Is that not?
I have no idea what the ratio is.
It's either normal or low, because you're supposed to get a fuck ton of magic, bro.
5 mil defense. Yeah, no, it's fine. He did tried a little bit of BF. It's fine and dandy, and he's been sitting at the roof. So yeah, someone's slaying. God, is he doing blood velds? No, he's not. There's no way you get 8 mil Slayer and you're doing blood velds. I don't know, but like Aziz, please correct. Like it's so hard to tell right now because I don't do it myself, so I don't want to speak on it and just and
Oh,
get
that's
it
a
completely
fuck
wrong.
kind of attack. What?
Yeah, he's got 5.8 mil. So I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know if it's zone or I don't know if he's doing blood velds. But
The fuck is that?
No way, zone.
yeah, he's on.
That's
Yeah,
so much, man. There's no way that's just zone.
So, well, yeah, not just zone. Oh, so maybe he is like, yeah, he's
Oh yeah,
get
he's
the
doing
spec
something.
transfer out. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good. So he's probably doing.
Oh
that.
my god.
Ooh, what happened?
Hold on, sorry, I almost died at Seagulls.
Oh yeah, all good. Okay, so topping out the team that took the win this week is Rodney, and you know nothing surprising. What's his month? Sorry, it is. Oh my god,
It's a little small, eh?
yeah. He's
What
kind
is
of
it, 530 now?
he's kind of
Damn,
dropped.
it's only 530, bro. What happened to his 540?
Oh, he's kind of dropped. He
Kind of
started
new,
smithing a month ago.
Slacking,
pretty
bro.
much. Christ, this man. Look at this. This month is just because he's been doing this for a while. So
Yeah, it's
This is
over
crazy.
6 months now. Actually, I think he did hit his 6 month stride.
he's on pace for a 6K year. That
Yep.
is, you know,
CX.
it's coming. Okay, so Higer's got competition for the rank 1 year. That's fair. Far out, Brussels sprout. So he's capping this out. He's capping this out. He's been doing some fishing. Yeah, wow, he's out of Herblore. So what's the man moving to after smithing?
Wait, is this Rodney?
Yeah, this is Rodney.
Yeah, this is Rodney Miller.
He can do some fishing. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. He's
Maybe
hit
he
the
can pick it up.
gatherers.
Is he two taking?
Yeah, no, yeah,
got-
he's got 52k agility, so he's 2-tick fishing. So we got 2-tick
Holy.
fishing, and we've got some smithering. Yes, I've seen him type it once in a Twitch chat, and it always stood out to me as smithering. So, really, Rodney is just the beacon of hope in this team, man. Any week that this man plays, you're guaranteed like one. Oh, okay, it's just not.
Oh,
there we
he moved on to fishing because he already finished fucking Smith.
Yeah.
go. yeah. Oh, is he like
okay.
done? I didn't know he was like finished. Oh, 171
No, he's
plus
full.
15.
He's
Yeah.
185 or
yeah.
whatever.
Okay,
Get
so he's
the-
got a tiny bit left.
Pretty much doing only fishing now. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
HP cap and just went to fishing.
I've got a question for you guys. Do you think that like people like do you think people like Aziz, Dan, actually I believe that Fastit can hold this up, but do you think people like Aziz and Dan could consistently perform around this level every week? Like I know
For
Dan's
sure.
like-
I mean, the season's almost done, right?
Yeah.
Just gotta soon if they make it to playoffs, because this is Aziz's second to last week, because it's the second to last week for everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
That he can play in regular season,
Uh-huh.
and then once they all get into playoffs, they'll get a whole new surge of motivation. A whole new Wasby of motivation.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. That's fair enough. Okay, so that's been we've gone through one matchup. And GVG did take it there. I think GVG we're versing them, but the Crows are versing them this week, and it's going to be a tough matchup. I think it can go
Yeah,
either way
man.
at this point.
They're not an easy matchup.
No,
for sure.
they're a good team. They're very
But
much a
it's
good
spook.
team.
Scary.
They
Not
are
spooky.
they're the most consistent team in fantasy right now. IMO.
Pretty much.
So-
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing that we'll talk about a little bit later when we come to playoffs is that GVG it seems like they might not have a high enough ceiling in terms of total hours.
Oh, yeah, for
nuclear,
sure. I mean-
for some nuclear playoffs, which is
I
like
would say when you were saying earlier that they're not an RNet dependent team, I definitely think they have a really good chance of making playoffs without him. But once they get into playoffs, I think they just lose because they don't have him. Like
Yeah,
that's such a big difference, man.
yeah, like I don't see because there's a difference between thinking that a squad is really solid and a really good seasonal team, and then I don't see a 960, 970 week coming out of GVG. I don't see it.
Yeah.
So and the other teams, some other teams in playoffs can push that. They could push a 1K week, something like that. You know, they can really just enter the launch codes and just send it. So
Yeah.
But maybe Dan can work some magic and sort some people out and squeeze some extra hours out of somewhere, because you know at the start of this season a lot of people were writing off GVG in the first place, so it wouldn't be the first time that with
for
this
sure.
team people it turned around and people were surprised. But I'd like to thank you, Nick, for coming on as our first special guest for this week.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me
really
on, boys.
appreciate it. Okay,
Good luck with the rest of it.
thank you very much.
you.
We'll see you around, man. Thank you for running such a good
great.
comp.
Of course.
All the
Good
best.
luck.
I think it's garbage. You should just leave right now. I'm disgusted.
And enjoy the rest of the recording. Peace, boys.
Thank you very
Good night,
much. So this is where we'd plug like the Audible sponsorship or something at this point, right?
Yeah.
The podcast one, so that I
Do you have the sponsorship lined up? Like, kind of need some money right now.
We need. Oh man, you got like the.
I mean,
we got a Tay-Rock referral link.
I mean, this is a professional broadcast. Like, we got some professional coverage. We spent like 20 minutes on the first matchup.
Yeah, that's fair. So we're gonna move. How long have we spent? So we're gonna move. Hold on. We're gonna move to our next one, and we're gonna announce our second guest. He's just joined the voice call. I've muted him because I wanna give like a little bit of suspense here. And with this second guest that we're bringing on, we're going to actually dive into the KKC and Softenem Seagulls matchup. So
this is my team.
Yeah,
okay, we lost.
Our second guest. Okay, our second guest. Sorry, our second guest. This man is. Who is it? Announce yourself.
Hello.
Hey, it's Frublox. So Frublox is our second guest. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Oh, was sitting here waiting to.
We thank you for being so patient and waiting.
Yeah, we just had to play.
It was a very intense first matchup. We had to look at lots of stuff to see.
Yeah, we
now you're here.
We went through every single player essentially in the first week. So I think we've learned our lesson, and we'll try and pick up the pace a little bit. But it's lovely to have you.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here?
So if you look at the Discord stream, the matchup that we're going to go into is we're going to be looking at Keldegrim Ketamine Crew and Softenem Seagulls. Okay, so we just covered the GVG and Cantering Caliphides one with Nick or Speed. And Speed saying in the Discord, 30 minutes, one matchup. Yeah, exactly. So this is going to turn into, I don't know what, but I'll upload it overnight.
7 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be like your Dota patch videos on your YouTube channel. They're just going to go on. But we look here. Frublox, how familiar are you with Skilling Cup so far?
Not at all.
That is the perfect answer, right? That's exactly what we want, because we can come in and look at this with fresh eyes. You'll be like,
right.
two-tick fishing? What's that? So it's brilliant. So here, an almost exact 100-hour difference between Pandobra's team with the Seagulls and Ketamine Crew, who've come out on top again. Ketamine Crew are currently 4-1. They're one of the.
That's pretty good.
They are one of the best teams in fantasy, and they were funnily enough, they were in a similar vein to GVG where people really doubted them early on in fantasy.
Yeah. Little known fact about Keldegrim. Wow, I said that right. KKC.
Yep.
They actually paid me to model for their logo right here.
Gotcha.
Did you accept? Is that you?
Yeah, that is me on the logo.
That is you.
Oh wow!
I didn't
notice it.
You're looking good there, man. You got the drip. You got the beer in hand. Very apt.
They set me up with some pretty good hairdressers.
I think we'll dive into the losers again, because I think starting off there is nice to identify those problems.
I guess.
Okay. You go Frublox.
I guess since this was Panda, you said this was your team, right?
Yes, this is my team.
Do you want to just explain, justify yourself?
Oh, justify. I mean, we're pretty good team. We have some maybe a bit of issues with our bottom. Is we could use a little more people on there.
Yeah.
But
we have some moron on our team. Won't name him. He just won't. He just kind of refuses to play right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Is
he benched or was he playing this week?
No, he is benched because he says he's going to do a 0 every week. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
That guy's really enjoying.
Fantasy.
Yeah, he's really enjoying Final Fantasy, a different type of fantasy at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different. We're in. Fantasy 2020.
Pandobra, do you think that your team could have won this matchup, or do you think that this is your peak against this kind of a matchup?
What hours did you use? 700.
I think our peak is actually pretty high. As long as we got the players who can play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this week we just kind of didn't have everyone we could have played, and it's kind of hard, but
Yeah, is it how many weeks, how many rounds is fantasy this cup?
It's
I think
7
there's
weeks.
2 more weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks
Two
total
more
in
weeks?
season, and we're currently in week 6, and we're just doing the recap for 5. So
Are you planning to, I guess, I don't know, go like put more effort as it gets later and later, and maybe if you make it to playoffs and stuff like that? Or is that why you're just kind of playing on the reserves or keeping a
Uh,
reserve?
I'm not gonna really say.
Okay, don't want to say a
confidential?
strategy, but
Yeah,
but you did say that this is not your peak. The peak is higher.
yeah. I think our team just has some consistency issues, but our
Mm.
peak is high.
Yeah,
But our consistency is probably just gonna kill us.
that's fair. So we'll look at your team this week, and I've seen Seagulls have performed. 700 is nothing to scoff at. It's a loss in this matchup, but it's like fine. It's not a complete ball dropped on the ground sort of week. But I think you're right in the sense that Seagulls kind of strike me as a team that fields 5 or 6 and then have to tack on 2 at the end or 3 on the end, which really just starts to drag your hours down by a lot. Like we see with teams like GVG who can field 8 consistent players do quite well, and they're coming around in the season, I believe, right now because they're fielding a very full roster, even if the ceiling for that roster isn't terribly high, or we think it's not terribly high at the very least. But it seems like in here with Seagulls, we're starting off at the very bottom. We have a kind of a trio of 60, 70 weeks between Pellet Popper. This is Boogeyman, right? I feel like this is
That's
this
Boogeyman.
is Boogeyman. Okay, I had to remember the name changes, and then we have Buttersock and Bales here. So what's Boogeyman up to?
He does fishing mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Barb, and he usually does like a lot, but I'm not sure what happened. I think he's kind of demotivated a bit, and kind
That's
of wants
fair.
to do some other stuff, or
Yeah.
maybe felt like we couldn't win, so he just kind of stopped playing early or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think like Boogie, this 70 here is I don't believe it's indicative of all of like the level of player he is, because if I'm in playoffs, this is a man I want on my team in playoffs. Like
Yeah,
Boogeyman is someone you want playing in your semis and grand finals if you make it there. He is born for like, or at least I've in past performances, this man can really put everything on the wire and everything on the line for big high stakes matchups. So maybe it's like in that monotonous week to week sort of thing. He's not totally feeling it, and that's fair. That just might be like how his attitude towards fantasy.
Yeah.
So
fellow
Yeah.
com member.
yeah,
It feels like to me that every time fantasy comes around, you basically see the same thing. You just see like people who could do 100, 120, they just do like a 70 or an 80 because at the end of the day, it's more like a marathon rather than a sprint.
Mhm.
It's pretty much the longest skilling comp there is, and people playing week after week, high hours. It's not gonna be as fun as if they're in playoffs.
yeah,
So knowing who those people are, I think, is gonna be probably the most important drafting, or not drafting. It's the most important information for who to start.
yeah.
But for matchups like these, I don't know. Do you think that you could have just started someone different and gotten a higher overall?
No. I
Yeah,
don't
this
think
is
so.
like
This is
this
about
is like
where you're at. Yeah,
it's
you're
just
in the locker room.
how it's gonna be.
He's got the leaks. So yeah, so they bottomed out with the trio sort of around here. It's not like it's not intentionally feeding sort of levels, but it's like this is probably around where the players can perform comfortably and like without putting too much of their week into it sort of thing. So it's respectable in that sort of sense. But for sure, the like Buttersock has popped off before. Bales, what's his record week? I'm curious. What's he doing? He's doing Bibles. A newish player as well. There we go. 83 week. Okay, so it's actually it's around. This is around. Yeah, it's very close to his record, which is it's respectable in that sense. Like we talked about before. That's what I believe personally. If it's around the maximum that someone's done, they're either breaking it or they can perform around there. So but obviously this is the drag down here. This is 30, 60, 40, this is like close to 20 hours, 25 hours, and 32 hours around very rough, but like around being off an extra 100 hours that would have given them the win. Like I know it's very far-fetched to imagine at the bottom of your roster all do like triple, like 100 week, but that's sort of the extent. You could take that, you could even take that that 30, that 20 24, and that close to just under 20 here, spread that out across the rest of the team. If everyone just did a little bit more, you're now tied with the people that you lost to. I know that is very kind of like far-fetched, but that's sort of the idea, is that's how big having a bottom sort of 3 or a bottom sort of 2 that drag you down that far go. But at least in terms of these players, not Boogeyman, but at least in terms of these two players, this is around what they do anyways, so good on them nonetheless. Like, they're performing at their level that they've been at so far. So Wasby, he's off RS3, and what are we sitting at? We're sitting at, we're at the rooftops, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Something cathartic about seeing essentially a fishing 6 hour, and then just back to the roofs.
Well, I hope that isn't a fish.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if it's Barb, isn't that bad?
Yeah, it's no. Well, Barb's also 1-to-1, but this is a fishing 6 hour where like you're typing on Discord and stuff. Like you're.
No. I mean, yeah, but with a Barb 6 hour, at least some of the EHP is in different skills, so it's not as bad as it looks there.
Yeah.
But
is it? I don't. Is that how it's calculated? It's always been like 6 EHP for like a good 6 hour when I did that.
Yeah, but not all in fishing, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, actually,
60.
Oh yeah, it depends on what you look at. Actually, there's like a different thing you can look at.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if you just scale it, if
differently.
you just take your fishing XP and divide by like your rate, like the ideal rate, that'll be like accurate. Not the way it does
that would
it
be
here.
above. That would be above EHP.
Yeah.
If it were a 6 hour, which I don't even know if it was.
Where's the 1.4 mil wood coming from?
That's work.
That's right. So yeah, he's working right now. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd have the locker room tip there. So yeah.
Is that a lot? Like
that's
he works
6.7 EHP from Redwoods.
That's
yeah, he works 40 hours, I think. He works full time, so
yeah,
that's pretty
really
consistent.
What's that? It's like
I wish I could do that much Redwoods.
It's like 20 hours of Redwoods at like 65k, and you're probably getting lower than that. So it's like you're probably getting a fair amount lower than that, around 50 something if you're like whipping out the phone and like Chrome Remote Desktop or whatever.
I think he does it on the office computer.
Oh, never mind. So it's around about there. It's like 20 hours or so of Redwoods. Urorin, another name I'm gonna butcher. I apologize. What do we have here? Oh. He's hunting. This guy's hunting. This guy's doing black chins. So we got the nightmare zone when we're busy, and we've got a little bit of roofs because we're getting offed at black chins, and we're sending the ult back out there, and then so this is actually a metric of how often he got PK'd essentially, or like when he's going to bed, 118k agility. That's not bad for a week. It's for 83 weeks, 17 mil hunter. He's been hunting for a while, right? What's his stats at? He is at.
Is this a? Oh wow.
He's at 88 mil so far, so he's nearly he's hitting halfway there. And this has been his thing in fantasy, right? He's been doing a lot of hunter, so.
I think he's only played like 2 weeks, but yeah, he's just doing hunter.
This is the
not
first
changing
black
his
chins
playstyle for fantasy.
Yeah, I respect that. It's like this is the first black chins player that we've only gone through one of the matchups so far, but we haven't seen any hunter from anyone else at all.
Not even a bad skill for fantasy either.
No,
it's a really good skill,
yeah.
especially. Well, I guess it's properly scaled now, but it was insane that no one did it like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, for sure. The rate was a lot lower it was a lot lower in general, but it was a lot lower on CML and stuff like that.
You could get like consistent 1.5 or 1.4. I don't remember what it was, but like way over.
What was it at? Was it at like 240k, or was it lower?
It was at like, what was it, 230?
230. Well, yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get it out of you guys. I believe it was like around 240 or lower, or something like that.
I think it was 220 on CML at one point.
Oh,
They
God.
raised it to 230 and then to 240.
Because people were doing
eventually.
people were doing 265 very consistently around that time when it was. I remember when it was around 230, 240, or like previous fantasies, people were doing 265 and like very very like even yourself for blocks. I remember you could.
Yeah, it was kind of like people just figured out like the bow reset method, and that bumped it up by like 10-15k
Yeah.
what you could average.
Gotcha.
But even
I
so,
believe,
it was like low before that.
I believe
people
it's
weren't
still
updating the alt.
240
Oh,
on
it's
Temple.
It's 240 now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was like 220 or something like that.
I mean, 240 is not
Well-
a bad long-term average, but like you could definitely maintain like 260. I feel like
Yeah. God, really.
so it's
should've
it's
done
a good skill to pick for fantasy if you're confident in it.
Would have been nice to have a snapshot of like the EHP rates 18 months ago to see how like things evolved from fantasy from around then to now with how people are, how well they're playing in terms of like Hunter and stuff like that. But
Fantasy does like change ESP rates kind of.
oh yeah,
a lot.
there's scaling in this comp, but I just mean in terms of like how the methods have developed, how fast Black Chins has gotten better in terms of how well people are doing it with new ways to like you said with bow reset and when Bart
Have there
came in
been
and
any
stuff like
more
that.
advances? Like Solastris, I think is not really. It's just a quality of life convenience thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
you
a-
can
it's
do
a
it actually a little
four-tick-
bit more with
four-tick reset.
Solastris, but
Yeah.
ideally you could do it just about the same with bow.
Mhm.
But besides that, I don't think there's any more XP boosts.
Yeah,
that come down.
that's fair. So Euron, he was our hunter, the first one that we've seen so far in seconds. I believe this is a PB for him. He hit the triple digit week. So really, was it a mining week or was it an overall? It was an overall week. So that's always good to see in fantasy. Is that someone he pushed himself and he hit the triple digit and he did it all at
Let's
the
go.
quarry. Let's go. So this
What a
is.
beast.
He really did get lost in the flow. 81 EHP in mining in this week.
10 mil mining weeks, very solid.
Yeah, exactly. This is if you this is
84.
considered very difficult. Very difficult in fantasy. Oh yeah, sorry with the smithing. My bad. Very difficult. In, at least
What
in
XP
what we've
yeah,
seen so far.
mining?
I don't. He's just finished fishing. Oh, sorry. I need to go stats.
Oh, so he's low XP?
I would assume he's low-ish. He's
Yeah,
at 30.
he's-
Oh well, he's 35, so he's been doing it for a bit. Half a k hours.
Definitely taking advantage of fantasy to get through the low XP. That's like
Yeah.
the hardest part of any skill.
Yeah, that's. But the thing is that it can also be difficult to do a new skill or be relatively new to a skill and starting in fantasy, especially if there's going to be pressure on you to perform. You might find that
He
you don't-
started at like 99.
Well, yeah, but like
If he's played a couple weeks, I guess he might have.
Yeah,
or
but like
compost.
especially like coming off post fishing though, like there's the post fishing. He did actually finish a while ago, to be fair, I think. But coming off fishing, a lot of people they might take some time to find their way, at least historically. So
Yeah.
to come out of fishing and then drop a 10.3 mil mining week is really really respectable, and he set his week PB, so he's in the triple digits now. So like good on him. It's like you can't ask more of a player than beating their personal best, right? Like in terms of like history, that's really really good. So, and he's always been a good player. I know he's really good. So, and now he's pushed those hours across a week really high. So good on him. Female.
Also, I had a
There you
question.
go. Yeah.
Has there been a lot of like new players joining fantasy and just doing like really high weeks?
Yeah,
I
for
don't know if
sure.
that's been a thing.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And there's like people who haven't played like in a while, but are kind of known and they come back too.
Yeah. We'll get to some of those. We have the full spectrum. We got people that they haven't played in years and they come back and they do big weeks. We have people that come out of nowhere and do big weeks and then get permanently banned. And then we have
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's always a good
Yeah.
one. We have but
I believe the last perma ban was in 2018 summer. I don't know if anyone got perma banned the last season.
yeah, that's fair. So but like God intended, someone had to go ahead and cheat, and then there we go. So they're out the game, as your favorite streamer would say.
In Narnia.
But female, actually, I do want to check the players tab for this real quick. So female is on a 102. They lost this week, but I think female is one of the better performing players in the entirety of fantasy. If we could just check.
Is
that
he
real
in
quick.
Iron Man?
No.
He's but he's averaging. So this is what I wanted to look at. This caught my eye a little while ago. If we look here with female, this is the average tab, correct? Yeah. So he's averaging in every week that he's playing 117.
Yeah, I mean he's always been such a beast for fantasy. One of the best
on
players.
470 hours in fantasy. So like that's why 102 is quite low for him. But I understand it. You know, maybe they lost this week and they were going to call it off, so people rest and such. That's completely fine. But this man has just absolutely dominated fantasy. He's really taken it in his grip and just ran with it. So really, big grats to him. Nearly just ran with a quote from someone else there. Let's go back here really quick. So female there, and then topping out the roster here for your team, Pandobra, is Bala with the 111.
Yep.
And
Another RS3 player.
Yep. So he dropped a lot of RS3 players on the Seagulls.
Yes. So we have our captain Surgington. He's big RS3 fan. So
Yeah, for
pulled in
sure.
all the RS3 players.
You think they're playing RS3 during fantasy?
Captain was banned.
They were when Archaeology first came out. Like that was only like the first week or 2 weeks or so.
Yeah. How's the reception to archaeology been for like from the RS3 crowd in your team? What do they think about
I
it?
have no clue. Just see them talk to each other. I'm not really paying attention to it when they
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
fair.
RS3.
They're on their own little island, as I remember.
Tune out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he killed some spiritual warriors on RS3 and then paid for the herb lore. So really, we did some gatherers. Sorry, I just completely we glazed over that. So there we go. We dropped some fishing, did some 2-tick.
It's an interesting week. What do you think he did? What was his schedule like? Did he just do herblore most of the day, and then when he was feeling it, he went and fished? Because that feels like a little bit more fishing than I would have
Yeah,
expected.
I'm guessing that's what I have no idea. Like what is? Like he didn't really say what is. Like,
Time for the update table.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
let's see.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can actually find out.
Yeah, we
Nice.
can actually find out. So if there's one way to make a fantasy recap 4 hours long is that you go into the update table of players. So if we look here, the question that you had is like, was he doing herblore or fishing? And weirdly enough, we're actually seeing some duality here where they go hand in hand. So maybe Bala is one of those players, at least in this fantasy week. If we look here between, this is like an 11-hour update. So in 11 hours, 5:44, 12 hour-ish update. We're doing 12.87. And what I was going to say, my point is that he's looking like one of those players where they're doing their gatherer right, and then once they feel that their rate is maybe starting to drop a little bit, they hit like the crafting guild and they start making the potions. So maybe that's his program here is that he's fishing until I'm guessing, by the way, but he's fishing until he's not feeling it, or he feels like his rates are maybe going out the window a little bit, and then he just starts to hit the brews. So because a lot of it is occurring at the same time. But he started off with herblore. He did.
I mean, if he's getting good rates in both of those, then
he's fine. Yeah, exactly. He did a 111 week. He did a 111 week. He did great.
Yeah.
it looks like he was burnt out of fishing there for a little while. Did you see that long stretch?
Sorry. Oh yeah.
See, this one.
From.
How long was this? Was this over like 2 days?
God, I feel like this is like a little bit like weird territory. So from May. Yeah. So from the evening of
May 4th all the way up to May 7th.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah, a couple of days he just hit the potions. So, but that all totaled up to a. So do you want to start analyzing his sleep schedule at this point? Because you can pick it out if you look long enough. So.
Yeah, I mean, why not? We're here.
We're not doing that to the man. But yeah, he capped out his team at 111. So, but this is the team led to a loss by 100 hours.
Actually, hold on the topic of sleep. Do you have an idea of how much everybody's been sleeping to get like these hours?
No. Not
It's
at
like
all.
people.
It's
I
very
mean,
week to
people who
week.
work 40 hours a week have if they want to do an 80, they have to sleep way different than someone who's not working doing an
Yeah.
80.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know how
yeah.
much people have been sleeping well.
It's very different week to week because the intensity that some teams tackle each week like differs. Like a lot of teams just give up like at the very start of the week after a big week because they know that they can't put up, or maybe they couldn't 6 hour, they can't put up the hours to continue into next week. So we've seen a lot of weeks that are essentially like one-sided and free because one team.
Did we see? Wait, did you see that for this matchup or like this round?
Oh well, no, not this matchup specific. I'm just talking about in fantasy in general. So like you were talking about how often.
I'm just saying in this round. Like, did you see teams that kind of didn't try as hard because they knew they weren't going to win?
Look, you could say that Cantering Caliphides weren't. This is the matchup we covered with Nick. You could say that Caliphides weren't trying hard, but they're also currently 0-5. I'll catch you up quickly. But so they're currently 0-5, but they have a good roster. So this is something we're not going to cover it again because we already talked through it. But essentially, the TLDR right Free Blocks is that Cantering Caliphides they have a really good roster, but they've really just run into some consistent problems every week. But the players that they do have like are really good at RuneScape. So it's just more getting it all together for like one consistent effort in a week. But you can kind of say that this matchup was kind of given up a little bit, although they did try at the get-go, at least for the first couple of days. This matchup was like it kind of all the way till the last 2 days or so. I'm not actually sure about the Seagulls or Keldringham. I don't know when the Seagulls maybe thought, okay, this is all good. And I know Witchhaven gave up a couple days beforehand, or a little bit earlier than MTF expected. At least is what I heard from MTF. But we looked at
that matchup looks rough as fuck.
Yeah.
Just imagine going up against a 900 with an 823.
Yeah, which is very like that's a huge effort. You got to like 823 is a very, and also Witchhaven Wizards have done a 970. They beat my team in week 2. So in week 2, Witchhaven Wizards put up. I think Witchhaven has put up the highest week in fantasy so far with that 970. So they did a 970
in all of fantasy, like every fantasy so far.
It'd be a bit technically.
I know
yes.
they're scaling and stuff like that.
Well, no, yeah, it would be the highest, but there's also 8 players on a team and stuff like that now. So the hours per team are just going to be quite high in general. But Witchhaven have gone very. I think, can I show you round 2? Yeah, here you go. So in round 2, Witchhaven did a 970 to the Crandor Crows 962. So
that looks like an intense fucking matchup. 8 hours.
It was a crazy matchup. This matchup, and it also led.
Wait, is it a 962? I thought it was an 820 actually. It's what the Crows put up that week.
Oh yeah, there you go. So
20.
Yeah, this matchup led to a permanent ban, which we won't harken on too much. But
so we're looking at maybe some inflated hours.
Yeah, you can kind of put these hours on the chopping block and knock off the head at this point. So congrats to Higer on the 138 topping out the week 2 Crows. But we'll go back up to week 5, and so yeah, Seagulls. It looked like at least it's a simple diagnosis. It really looks like their problem here is that they were fielding a bit too low hours at the bottom of their roster. Like this is consistent. This is fine. I think the blue is going to hurt people's eyes, so I won't do that anymore. I'm sorry. But the 1-5, Surge can do. Surge is an insane fantasy. Wasby's an insane. Reading the RSNs, man. But Wasby is like an insane fantasy game where you can do massive hours. There's no doubt about that. Euron's been playing very fine he's only played 2 weeks, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you put him in, he does his 80. That's really fine.
I'm not sure if he did an 80 last time, but
was it lower or was it higher?
It's probably lower.
Okay, so for the problem is for an 80 to be your 4th spot in a week where you're kind of almost do or die whether you're in playoffs or not, it's a bit of a dire circumstance. You can't have your middle of the pack hours too low or be this low. I don't think with Wasby and Euron, even though like their performances are in if you look in it in a vacuum chamber, that they're fine. They put up solid 80 weeks, but in terms of where Seagulls are currently at in terms of fantasy, it's not really going to be enough, and that's why I think one of the reasons why they went down this week. And they went.
I mean, it's hard because they got beaten by like pretty much exactly 100 hours.
Mm-hmm.
When you get beaten by 100 hours, it's not like someone just picked up like 10 more hours. Like if these bottom 3 picked up 10 more hours, it still wouldn't make up the gap.
Yeah.
Everyone would have played would have had to play a lot more.
No, it's true. You got one thing that's different from other fantasies is that there is no point system. So finishing close, so losing but finishing close to the winning team or beating another team by a large margin doesn't give you extra points or anything. Because I know you've played in previous fantasies for blocks, and that doesn't exist anymore. So you just win or lose. So that's also why it's very easy for teams to give up, because the opportunity cost of giving up is the exact same as, you know, trying as hard as you can throughout the entire week and still losing. So
okay, so can you like run through it? Because I think how the original like fantasies worked were there was like a point system, and then sort of by the end of all the weeks, the teams with the, I think it was like a cutoff point for a number of points or something like that, some ranking.
Yeah,
those teams would be in playoffs, right?
It's yeah. So they've done away with that. It's strictly win loss, and then there's some tiebreakers, like tiebreak scenarios based on who won in the head to head and hours. But like to really simplify it, it's really just down to your score at the end of the season, your win loss rate.
Right, but you can still end up in the situation in this fantasy where if you've like say lost a lot of times and then you're coming near the end and you don't have enough matches left to make up the loss, right? That can happen, right?
Yeah. Like teams are already at that point right now. Like they certainly.
So
can't make
like, I mean,
playoffs.
what are they doing? I guess because
They
just want to play hard for fun,
for posterity's sake. Yeah, I guess like Caliphides are statistically out of playoff chance at this point, and they put up 600 hours. They did lose the week, but they're still gaming. So it's commendable that, you know, people are still just, you know, having fun and still trying to put in the effort here. But
it would be kind of cool if because like I think how it works is right now there's just one overall winner, like the person who wins or the team that wins playoffs. But if there's like other I don't know, like categories, like, you know how there's like MVP in some skilling comps,
yeah,
like some other reason for a team who can't make it to playoffs to also play hard, like some other condition.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything like that in this one.
No, it's just they'll just send through the top four, and I think some teams are going to get in through tie breaks. But one team that won't be having to worry about any tie breaks probably is, at least if they continue on the trajectory that they're currently going on, is Ketamine Crew. They forgot the last word isn't because it's just the comp name. So I forgot. It's just like what people named it. But here they go. So they came out with their 800 hours, essentially 798 after scaling, and they're bottoming out. They're bottoming out with Ellie. Ellie, this wouldn't even be a worry. She can do as many hours as she pleases, I assume, right? Like she really is. She's a massive,
she's a solid player.
Yeah, she's a massive fantasy gamer. One of the better performances one of the better consistent performers of this season so far. I believe that, like, I don't know anything myself, but I believe, you know, doing a 77 is just indicative of they won the week very early, and there's no need to press the RuneScape button so hard on
I'm
computer.
assuming.
I mean, if this is your bottom for the week, this is a really good start. Like,
yeah. Well, this player, this bottom, this is a phenomenal player. Like, throughout fantasy, has been a really good player. Very hotly contested at the draft. She was on everyone's radar, and we'll look at the player tab later, but she's proven to be in and out on most of the weeks, doing really well. I think they just won very early. But yeah, you're bottoming out with a 77. But I don't think with teams that win very early, or it looks like they took the lead and the other team gave up very early, there's really no point focusing on the bottom of their roster too much, because it's just all it is people slowing down because they don't have to game anymore.
Yeah, if you really look at this distribution here, it's much more stacked than the other team, so you can easily see why they won.
Yeah, exactly.
They were, and each player had so many more hours.
I think Swift's told me. Sorry, Ellie's power went out. Yeah, that's it. Ellie,
DDoS by God.
Yeah, DDoS by God. Sorry. So Ellie's power went out for a day. I assume Swiss told me that I could say this, so it's not like I'm kind of like putting someone's IRL out there. He said that this was, you know, you could allowed to talk about it on the recap. So her power went out for a complete day. So I think that I just forgot that he said that. So that's one of the things that will just lead to something like this, is that but we no need to focus on it. Everyone knows how good she is. So Husks is a.
Well, I mean, even thinking of, like, okay, so if we assume that they would have played that time, then that's even more stacked.
Yeah, it would have.
That's like an average of
She would have done
85
like,
or
yeah,
something.
like 16 or 18 hours or something like that. Like no, it would have been really high. Like this girl can just smash it out. So, but now we have. I didn't know Husk was a level 3. I had no clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Husk is he's come back for fantasy, I believe.
Big time fantasy gamer, loves all the fantasy memes and stuff as well.
Yeah, so he's living and breathing for Skilling Cup 2020. Hashtag Skilling Cup 2020 on Twitter if you want to get involved.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
So I have a question here. So is his EHP counted as level 3 EHP and then
No.
It's always just main EHP.
Yeah, it's just main.
always main EHP? So he's kind of having to play a bit more, I guess. I don't know how far off the rates are.
He can 2-tick. He's doing like 1-to-1 pretty
Yeah,
much.
so he's doing Dragon Harpoon too.
Oh, so they can just right. I forgot about.
It's
so
not,
you can just do 2-tick.
Yeah, but it's not
not
Crystal
exactly
Harpoon. Yeah, so he can't use Crystal Harpoon, but he can use Dragon Harpoon.
It might be like 0.9 or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so he's
Right.
that's kind of so the Crystal. I guess like Zaya's been out for a while, but since the Dragon Harpoon level 3s have been able to move on since at least like non-irons main level 3s have been able to move on to 2-tick fishing, and it really sped up their fishing by a large amount over 3-tick barb and salmon. Sorry, not barb, 3-tick trout and salmon. My God. Okay. So,
What's the situation for like 2-tick with mains? Is it still under EHP?
No,
it's over. Or it's 1-to-1 pretty much.
But barb and 2-tick are essentially identical EHP. You can just pick one of the methods. It doesn't matter.
Oh, how did that happen? What changed?
I mean, it's just the Crystal Harpoon, just the rate.
Yeah, Crystal Harpoon.
Crystal Harpoon?
Yeah, and people.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are getting around like you can do like 136k hours, but I think people average like 132 sometimes, something like that, like over a long period of time. So it is quite high. So, but you can just pick between the methods. That's the fishing situation right now. No one method is better than the other at the moment by any larger than minute amount. So
I mean, playability wise, is one easier than the other?
2-tick is a lot easier than barb, and I think that's the general consensus around the community as well. Is that this 2-tick you just kind of listen to what a plugin tells you, or not? It tells you when you can click the spot, and you don't have to click the ground or anything in between ticks. You just have to click the spot on rhythm essentially, and then you can drop your fish in between. And
oh wow, sounds like it got way easier with third-party clients.
Oh well, no. The third party clients don't make it. They don't make the actual implement. They don't make the actual method any easier. It just makes it very visible exactly when you need to click the fishing spot. It lets you know. So like
wasn't it like originally possible just because of the left click config? Because I think originally it wasn't possible or something.
But did they change it back in the base?
Well, no, it was possible, but you had to literally right click time.
Yeah.
Because the option you wanted wasn't on the wasn't on the first menu.
Yeah, so it was actually we didn't at least in like iron skilling methods we didn't add it to as a method because RuneLight, it was like before their like that blog post where like RuneLight was like an approved client or whatever, and like all the plugins in RuneLight are safe. So we didn't, because like essentially you had to either use AHK or like left click config, and at the time you really couldn't do either of those, so we like weren't going to like say like, hey, this is a method you can do. But then the blog post came out about RuneLight, and then the method, you know, it was all clear to it essentially allowed 2-tick because you're allowed to use any of the installed plugins or whatever on RuneLight that come by default. But anyways, level 3 2-tick, right? So he did that, and he dropped the bruise and hit the roofs for a little bit. So a nice.
Can we see the update log for this?
Oh dear God! Okay.
I just want to compare it to the other herblore fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Very
See what this
interesting.
one's like.
For the fantasy champion husks. So sorry, herblore is here, fishing is here. So we're kind of looking at these two columns.
Looks pretty.
Kind of seeing the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. Very similar. A little bit short, a lot shorter stints of herblore. 1.25. Yeah, so
this one looks like really back and forth.
Yeah, so he did his herblore 6 hour, and then just kind of went back and forth in between the methods. That's a great way to fantasy game. Just play as you feel fit, essentially. So good on him. We're gonna go back. So There we go. Skill second. Oh, sorry. God, I just moved over a couple. So we have Swifts, the team captain. He's really stepped it up as a player manager. And he's playing really hard. He's done some very solid weeks over the comp so far. One of the better performers. He's been he's been at the GE with the Black D hides. Is he done yet, or is he not done, or has he not completed a lot of crafting? Oh no, he's done. He's done. Okay,
It's almost done.
Yep. So
Can't do another week of it.
yep.
What's next for him after this?
I have no idea.
No, yeah, he can't fish, can't do crafting. So I got no clue. You might hit the roofs or something like that. Good genie lamp
Wait,
usage.
you have smithing? You could probably just do smithing.
Yeah. Oh, let's check. Does he
Pretty
have
sure he has smithing.
Does he have the money? Yeah. He's 18 mil smithing.
It is like free, and I'm pretty sure he does have
Yeah.
the money.
Whew. Yeah, well, yeah, Goldor's at a really good spot right now, but like it depends how long he's going to be doing it for.
What did the EHP rate for Goldor get set to?
It's 400k, isn't it? Or maybe
It
it
didn't
might
get
be
bumped
more
up.
right now. It might be a bit more right now.
Yeah, because I thought you could get like 420k or
Nope, it's
something.
400. Still 400 on Temple.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I mean, all right. If he really wants to sweat it out, he can get higher than that,
Yeah.
and that'd be pretty comfy for him.
So,
As in, like, having to play less hours to get more HP.
yeah. So
That's why it's
speaking
such
of
a popular
smithing,
skill right now.
it's
Yeah.
75 hours of BF from Barelis here.
Favorite Lithuanian player.
Yeah. Got him one. Is that the country, right? The guy. I forgot. I forgot.
That is a friend's
Yeah.
preferred.
I honestly forgot a friend, the YouTuber. There we go.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. Sorry. So yeah, dude, triple digit week of smithing and agility. Good on him.
And a
really.
little bit of mining.
What's his? Yeah, a little bit of mining. What's his? Oh, this is like really close to his record week. This is essentially the same.
Popping off for
same.
fantasy.
Yeah. Good on him, man. Like he's pushed it to like his current limits. So it's really good to see. Skill second. Another level 3. This is a player that I would name in one of my like kind of top players to watch in terms of fantasy so far. This guy has really been a really strong player consistently in the weeks that he's been playing. A 110 week from him, and he's making those potions and running those roofs. But
Yeah, lots of roots.
this man hasn't dropped the ball yet on any week that he's played because I've watched him. I don't mean in game, but I mean I've been
Seeing
keeping
more
up with him playing.
herblore and fishing seems to be common strat.
Yeah, a little bit of fishing.
I mean,
Fishing-
10 hours, not bad.
Fishing a
He-
popular one, sure.
I'm surprised I didn't
the
see
main
more
level
roofs.
3s that they want to play with their new toys. Well, I guess Dragon Harpoon isn't new, but it's sort of it's becoming sort of a new wave of level 3s hopping over to. I have a player on my team who's level 3. He's not actually level 3. He's essentially level 3, but he has 99 prayer. He's a player named Dull. He's a very good player, but he's also currently doing 2-tick fishing with Dragon Harpoon. So it's become a trend right now. Tupaki.
Be right
Here
back,
we go.
cigarette.
All good.
Oh wow,
We
bunch of stuff.
we can take this from here.
I don't know. Just because Tupaki means cigarette. It's all good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go have a smoke, man. I was like, I thought.
No.
Thank you.
Carrot back cigarette.
Yeah. Does that really mean cigarette in Finnish? Oh, that's my phone. That's beast. Okay. So yeah, this man's been all over the place. This guy's just having fun. It looks like crazy. He dropped some mining, hit the roofs.
What is he fletching with?
It's really high farming. Well, like that's really high farming for fantasy. That's like for fantasy. It's not really high farming for a week, but like he's
So like
actually
3
really
farm
on top
runs
of
per
it.
day.
Yeah.
Or
He's
sorry,
really been
3
on
tree
top of
runs,
it.
a fruit tree,
But most
and all the other
people
stuff.
most people neglect their farming in fantasy. I've seen it's not something that really people are highly prioritizing. And then he hit blacks or red. Oh no, sorry, he's level. No, he's not. We're not looking at skill second anymore. Sorry, he's hit blacks or reds. I have no clue. But yeah, he's been I wouldn't count farming as a skill, but he's hit 3 major skills over here, totaling up.
Yeah,
to-
this looks like not what you normally see. Usually you see people do
Yeah.
one skill or go back and forth between two different skills.
No, this is cool.
This one's like-
this is coffee milk, as Paul No Life would describe it. But like, I think this is really.
coffee
I think.
milk.
I think this is really really fun. This is the
Call
first
this
player.
like high IQ skill swapper.
Yeah, yeah. This is the first player that we've seen that's hopped around 3 so far, and I think that's and look, you can't say it's not. You can't say it's not working for him. The man just did a 104. So
It's called the 50 Shades of Green.
50 Shades. Oh, that's good. I like that. He's really lit up the temple. And then here we go. This is the story. If you've seen it on Twitter, Enlen just dropped the rank 1 Herbler week.
He skipped
Wait.
someone.
Oh, did I skip someone? Oh, I
Yeah, he
have to...
skipped
oh I
blind.
skipped
Yeah,
blind.
skipped
Oh my
blind,
god.
and he's always keeping it 69. So
Yeah,
you gotta.
I will not skip blind, man. I'm sorry. I didn't see the name, which is very apt for the RSN. But yeah, blind. And
Decent.
another thing as well is that blind. Is he still smithing, by the way? He is.
He does a bit, I think.
Yeah. So I was under the impression that blind will do smithing like for the boys for like if the comp is close or something like that. So he's done a little bit of that. The rune crafting hasn't happened. I thought he was doing some. Yeah,
He was.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, but I guess he's hopped off that now.
There's a lot of jumping around too. You got cooking,
Con.
fire making, smithing, agi, and then what's at the bottom? I think it was construction.
Yeah, construction. So he did 99 con, and then he
I just wanted to bang it out real quick.
yeah, he wanted to get
Oh,
out of the
yeah,
way
that's
real
what it
quick.
was.
Yeah, yeah, and then but he brought too many planks. He didn't realize like an extra 40 minutes into it. He was like, oh wait, I gotta, or no, that's like an extra hour. He's like, oh whoopsie, I gotta stop now. But then yeah, a little bit, like tiny bit of cooking, and then he's been neck working, I assume, something like that.
Yeah, he's been doing some spec X for.
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
gonna say because it seems like no one does construction for competitions,
Yeah.
especially like fantasy.
Yeah, so he's at 156, especially blind. He gets to take advantage of the, according to Swift's, like, well, not, I assume he gets to take advantage of these methods for attack, defense, or not defense, attack and strength, because he's not going to be doing any or much Nightmare Zone, because he can just play the game all the time.
Oh, is that spec transfer?
Yeah,
He is a professional gamer, so
Yeah.
he doesn't have to
yeah,
Nightmare Zone on his phone very much.
exactly. So, but
Oh, wow.
Swift did tell me, he gave me the intel that Blind did have obligations this week. He did have to do some stuff. So Blind did put up a 105 while having to do things. And actually, sorry, I'm reading this more. Is that if we're going to go back real quick, Husks did an 80, and he was in finals week. So Husks had 3 final exams doing an 80. So
Damn.
that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that I skipped over that I want to go back to real quick is that is Borellis' first triple digit week. We did check him out, but I didn't check his record. So that's actually his like best overall. So
I wonder what Husk on his final.
yeah.
They should have like the score side by side. There's
Yeah.
EHP versus his scores
Thing is,
on
if
his
you're well prepared for finals, you're not studying like much like the week of or like as they're like about to happen. So maybe he was just really well prepared and he's just gliding through them just like he was his 80 week. And
He did Herblore during his finals.
yeah, he can do them with the
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
Doing
you're
it at the
distracted
computer.
during the final.
yeah.
It was probably online final, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Swift's lost his 6 hour as well. So he didn't get a 6 hour at all. So you add like 5.8, 5.9, 6 onto that, and he's in the triple
Swift's
digits.
maybe had like 4, 4.5, maybe.
No,
but I mean,
fishing for
either way,
backup.
that means 6 out of 8 people would have played
Yeah.
over 100 hours.
And
So.
this is why this team is at the top and tied at the very top of this competition, because look at that, they're essentially fielding like 7. Well, this is Borellis' best, right? Okay, so but if we don't count Borellis, or if we do count Borellis as this is something that he could do again. 7 out of 8 of these players can very easily hit the like including Huss. So this is his first time. So 7 out of 8 of these like total fielded players can hit triple digit weeks like it's nothing. Like for Ellie, like Ellie can pop up just fine. There's no issues there. So it's like
Yeah, that's definitely a stacked roster.
Yeah.
When you have that many players that can do that, that you can start.
the thing about this roster though is that this is the roster. Like this is it. Like this is what they're playing every week. This is their playoff team essentially. So and they're a little bit constrained in that sense. But the thing is though, this was week 5. Do you see any signs of fatigue in this? Because I don't. That's an 800 week. That is insane.
I wanted to ask how the system works here. So you have 8 people per week, and then how many people can you have like left over on a team?
You have 14. You have 14 on a roster, and the captain can also play. So it's technically 15.
Oh, that's so many people.
Yeah,
wow.
it's a lot of people. So rosters are massive.
Was it that it used to be way less? Like I remember people who get into fantasy, they would have to play like every week because there's like only 2 or 3 other people spare.
This was an effort to try and go away from that a bit.
Yeah. But then Corona happened, right? So now all you did was you had a large comp full of a lot of people that are now most at home. So it actually
the neat comp.
It de-incentivized the purpose of what having a large roster and a large amount of fielded players per week. That was to lower the average hours, so like fantasy was more accessible. But now everyone has the time to do big, so that's why you're seeing 960, 970, 900, hours out of people. But
also, this looks like a Herblore week.
This is the rank 1 Herblore week.
I forgot that you said that.
So Enlin, I believe, is an RS3 player. Well, obviously, he's an old school player as well. I'm not discounting him here, but Enlin has set the rank 1 Herblore week with a 133. It's very nice to. When you look at the Herblore, it's very nice to look at.
I'm thinking about RS3 players in Herblore. I'm noticing.
Yeah,
He's the third person so far.
They've just got the money, man. They've got the money. So
yeah, they must be making bank on RS3. They're all good.
I got the money, so
probably playing in a few of those.
Someone on the agility high score. Someone on the agility high scores got banned. Red hot alert.
Oh really?
It could have just been a name change or something.
Yeah, true. That's fair, but it's more juicy if it's like if you think of it that way, and little bit of attack here. But man, this is really impressive out of Enlen to drop the week essentially here, capping off his team.
Because I noticed also this seems like
do it again.
Really like relatively low EHP considering the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's most people they don't launch the Bible week per se. But I guess he really wanted to go for it, so he did. And he what's the word I'm trying to use here? And he snapped it up with no real concern. Who can they sub here? So I know they have KKC Oreo, who's also an RS3 player, I believe, who can swap out for someone else.
Oreo,
yeah,
Dr. Please respect his degree.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Oreo. And I honestly thought it was like Drio for a while, but it's yeah, but it's Dr. Oreo. So they have a sort of limited bench, but this team is fielding an insane roster, and people doubted them at the start. But that's our. Do we have any closing thoughts on our KKC and Seagulls review here, guys?
Well, pretty rough one.
Okay. Yeah, for you at least.
KKC on the win.
Yeah,
and props on the rank 1 Herblore week.
Yeah.
Can I see the scores for KKC and Sophanum Seagulls? Like how many they've won and lost?
So KKC are at 4-1, and Sophanum Seagulls are at 2-3.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, looking at that, I think this is not bad. Pretty expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put up a good fight, but
yeah,
this roster is just more stacked.
Yeah, Seagulls had good pace out the gate actually at the early part of this that week. They tried to keep they did keep it up with
didn't
KKC.
throw.
Yeah, they didn't throw, but they did get bested at the end. So that's round 6. We don't want that's spoilers. That's what we're currently in. We want to go previous week. Oh, Australian internet. There we go. So, thank you, guest 2. Thank you, Frublocks, for joining us.
You, man.
Hope you enjoy your Dark Souls or whatever you're going back to.
Thank you.
It's been really good having your insight here. We've appreciated it on the Skilling Cup 2020 podcast. Far out. It's really gone beyond a recap at this point. So wish you all the best. And we're we wouldn't have been able to go that in depth on every player and analyze update tables without you. So we're gonna be moving on to the MTFs and Witchhaven Wizards, and we do have another guest. So we're gonna be swapping free blocks out for someone very soon. You're gonna find out who it is. So
Thank you.
We'll talk to you
All
later.
right, see you
Free
guys.
blocks.
Good
All
luck
the
with
best,
your
man. Thank you for
Good luck
coming
with
in.
your
Thank you,
podcast.
thank you for stopping by. Good night. Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna look at, because we're gonna save the matchup, the Bears and the Crows for last year. But the next matchup we're gonna look at is we have the MTFs and the Wizards here. This was the premier matchup of the week. We're gonna have a third guest join us for. We're gonna have him come in now, and we're gonna see who it is. So essentially, this week went nuclear. This week had insane pace off the start. Here's our third guest. We're talking about this week now. Guest, would you like to reveal yourself?
Hi.
Hi.
_BC on Twitter.
This is Cat. Do you
Do
want
not plug your Twitter on our YouTube video, please.
Yeah. Do you want
Okay,
to plug?
Yeah, edit that out.
Since you've already.
I'm just kidding, man. Go ahead and plug all your Twitters.
Yeah. Do you want to plug all the Twitters?
Yeah. So at @Kazo_BC, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No other
Yeah.
one. There's no.
No,
okay.
no, nothing else.
Of course.
BC stands for Burnt Cord. Shout out Burnt Cord.
Yep.
Shout out,
Shout out Burn Cord.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Kickback.
That's
Yep.
right.
Shout
Actually,
out.
What are we looking at?
I need to get promoted in there. By the way, can you promote me? Because I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll move some things. I'll sort some things out.
I'm not.
There's a
I'm
lot
not
of
on.
logistics.
I'm not on the Sunshine Week anymore. I've burnt. So it's good.
I'll figure it out for you after the.
Yeah.
We'll
After this,
shift
anyways.
some logistics around.
Yeah. you got to shake some hands in management and see what you can do.
Yep.
But we're gonna look at your week, Kaz. We're bringing you on for the week that Mitch dragged you out of the gutter and kicked your
We are
teeth in a little
so
bit.
sorry to hear about your domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually-
One gutted for the other.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna look at the losing team first. Okay. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Sorry.
You were on the wrong week.
Yeah. I keep pressing the back button up here when I could
You
just.
guys like previous week.
Yeah. I did click it.
Yeah.
I'm loading it, man. Just be nice to my
okay.
internet. Okay. This is
Yeah,
actually
we'll
just
do
not
that.
loading. This is huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
So-
can. It's all right. You got some internet issues,
Oh,
some
not me.
technical delays.
Not me too. Are you joking? What is this?
Oh no.
No, like
Wait,
why
what?
is it not loading for me now? Wow. Okay. Well, at least
They really don't want to show their defeat, huh?
yeah, they really. I'm getting hit, dude. I'm getting hit off right now.
Oh,
This is a
man.
joke. Hold on.
Maybe try
The
reopen.
wizards are in your router.
Yeah. So
I'll cut this out,
from
cut this
from
out.
from memory though, the week was the week. Oh, there
I can see
we
your
go. I
screen
don't have to
capture.
remember anything anymore. Never mind, we're here. It's all good. Okay, so this week was the premier matchup, as I said before you joined, right? This is what everyone had their eyes on if they were watching fantasy. And out the gate, right, it looked very close for the first, 2.5 to 3 days. And then it just really seemed like MTFs just surged forward almost out of nowhere, and simultaneously Witchhaven Wizards just didn't want to play any more RuneScape at the pace that they've proven that they could play at before. They just didn't want to put up with it anymore, it seemed like. But still, even for the losing team, it's an 823, it's an 824. It's in the 800s. It's a massive performance. But you guys blitzed them this week. I understand it's them
they
giving
did
up
pretty
as well, but yeah, this was both teams played phenomenally. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, one team has to lose, so we're going to dive into the loser real quick. But Witchhaven Wizards still at the top of the. Oh my God, Diglett on a 125, fire out. Okay, we are really not going to click on all of them because I've just looked at the time that we've been running, and I just wrote I have to upload this on my internet at some point. So that is just going to take forever, man. So we won't dive into all of them, but God, look at this. Their bottom really isn't that much of a bottom. Despera's doing 100. Desperate can play as much as he likes. This man is probably
Sick manager pick.
he is the best player manager in the comp without a doubt, 100%. I don't think maybe other people might not be happy to say that, or they might fight me on a little bit, but I think Despero is for sure the best manager pick in the entire comp. He can play as much as he likes essentially at this point. Ook is a proven go-getter. If Ook has the drive, he can kill himself for a week, man. He will send it. So
He's a very good player, yeah.
yeah,
He has done a lot in fantasies before.
yeah. It's just a question of whether he wants to or not. Really, it's like it's whether he really wants to commit so much of his time to it. But
It's gotta be rough because I think this season, like, they played most of the same people every week,
Yeah.
and they've just like they probably have like some of the most hours for out of anyone.
yeah. So, funnily enough, is that teams that have kind of a very limited bench are actually at the top of the comp. So KKC and Wizards, they're very constrained on their bench, I believe. But like they have one, but it's like it's not very expansive at all. They don't have many options from week to week. So these guys, like I know Witch comes on and off. I want to say Hordelad comes on and off, but I also could be wrong. So feel free to correct me there, anyone. But then they're playing Stays playing every week, but that's normal. Diglett, far out, man. He's been slamming Skilling Cup 2020. He's one of the best performers in the entirety of the comp. I don't know how much RuneScape he was playing before the comp, but he's really turned it up, to 10 out of 10 during the comp.
Not sure if he was playing much, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is like the good old last fantasy played a lot as well.
I think he was trying to get back into the game recently.
Yeah. So because I know that's what I mean. He's very like he kind of comes and goes as he's like having fun with the game, I believe, right? So that's how it works. So he's come back again, and here he is with the.
We're all having fun with the game at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
When I play it, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, you log in, have fun, log out. But Diglett finishing off his mining. He's now at the pond. He finished his mining a while ago. Sorry, but I just like that gather, like I associate it with him, like in my head.
It is
Yeah.
what he's done for most of the time we played this game. So
Yeah, it's fair. So nearly 12 mil fishing week, and it's all at Barb. My God, this is very purist temple to look at. Just a little bit of
breath of fresh air looking at a Barb week.
Yeah, God, yeah. Amongst all the crystal harpoons and the level 3 combat dragon harpoons and everything like that, just a teeny tiny bit of probably some obsidian zone, and then this man just got lost in the flow. So good on him. Hit some rooftops. I enjoy the strat of dropping your lamps on Runecraft. That's good. So, and the skill's called Runecraft. It's not called Runecrafting.
Yeah. Bodhi told me about that one time.
Yeah. But this team is bottoming out at 90s, and this is the second time that they've had to go this big, and they've gone even bigger. So like obviously they've hit a 970 before, but I am. Do you think that they're going to be well rested enough for playoffs? Like I know we have that little break between playoffs, and I feel like this is one of those teams that really needs it. I don't think KKC need that break as much as Wizards do, because I feel like Wizards have been really pushing themselves, and they've done very well for sure. But it seems
week,
like
right? Not 3 days. It's 1 week.
Yeah, it's like
right?
1 week. Yeah, it's 1 week and then 72 hours in between semis and finals. So, so I feel like
1 week break should be enough for anyone to reset. I feel like.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if you're playing for like 2 months or whatever, to set all 7. If you're getting played every single week and expect to do high numbers, I could see you just not wanting to play the game at all, like
Yeah.
even after a week's break.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, the thing with this team though is that most of the players on here play the game quite a bit already.
That's true.
There's maybe like 1 or 2 players in here who are kind of playing a lot more because of fantasy, but everyone else I think will be motivated to play probably.
Yeah. I think Stay, Erex, I assume Diglett, Witch, like, no, Desperate play around this amount. Ook plays around this amount. I don't know about Lombardi personally, but there's people that I named. They play consistent hours, but not consistently these hours. Like Stay does not play. Stay can. I'm not trashing people's skill or anything. I know they're completely capable of playing at these hours. I just know that they don't, because it's comfortable.
My point is more that like it's probably a lot easier to stay higher if you play a lot already, as opposed to not playing at all.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like it's relative, right? Like I think someone.
Or to keep it for a long time, rather.
Yeah, was it Vior that said like it's pretty maintainable to like hold a 120 if you don't have many IRL obligations, or like if you're going to school you can do like 120s like pretty consistently. So like I'm not doubting that, right? But like, you got to like it's almost like when you're standing at the peak and you're looking at all the other mountaintops, like like your expectation of like of what people can hold, you know, back to back, week to week is a lot different to what other people might see. But an 820 and 824 from Wizards, but they did go down. Do we miss anyone? We're not going to delve into everything, but do we miss anyone? Actually, shout out to this dude. This guy's kind of he's been popping off. Actually, what's his record week? Yeah, no. This is his record week. No way. Yeah, this is his record week. I thought so. Yeah.
Congratulations, Twitch.
Yeah, congratulations to Witch, man. I thought that this looked huge for him. This dude popped off. Doesn't matter what he hit the rooftops, did some black D-hide, good on him, man. That's a big week to step up to. So another Solace member really hitting it out of the park.
Shout out.
Stay has been consistently performing at the level that people would expect of Stay Skill Alt, one of the better Iron Men to ever touch the game. And Erex has actually been one of the better performers in the sense that he's been consistently playing above what he usually does, I believe. But like people, you know, I could be wrong on that, and I'm free and open to being wrong, but I believe it's a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
It's all Slayer. I know he does the Blood Veil task set and stuff like that, and it might seem like silly to point out that he does that sort of task set because it is good, but I just mean that not everyone does that on at least main accounts. Not everyone chooses to do that because they don't want all the meelees. So
he's another professional gamer, I believe, so it is efficient for him.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very cool to see. He gets over EHP. He's very good at it. So you get over EHP by definition of that task set. But he's really a good performer in that method. He's a talented gamer in that aspect.
And also I think he got his first 400 a month with this. Congrats.
Oh, congrats. Let's check that. Is he currently on it? Yep, 403. There we go. That's some big boy numbers. Big stuff to him. And like you don't have to worry at all about the bottom of this roster. Like I know we always look at the bottom of the teams that lose, but like this is not even something to worry about. You know, Lombardi, Ook, Desper, I think this is more of a they gave up a little earlier than most people expected. That's literally it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the graphs or something, but
oh yeah, of course. We'll just scroll down.
The last 2 days or so, they're probably just getting a bit more sleep in.
Yeah, no, you're right. So essentially, from just the start of Saturday, it looks like people started to cave off a little bit. Yeah, completely fine. But my God, they're
on track to do like quite a bit more.
Look at this, man. Look, this is like Power Rangers. They just like they came together and like assembled like the big mech or some. Look, they're all playing at such a similar pace, like all the way through. Like who started to. So Diglett obviously surged ahead, but this is crazy. That's really cool to see. Even all the way to the end, and then just Diglett's just off, you know, far out, just like launching it. So. Big respect to the team, even though they went down. They're in no danger of anything regards to playoffs or anything like that. But we'll look at the winning team. That's why we brought you on, Kaz. Your team did a 902. Let's Christ almighty.
L2 on a 150.
That's
L2 is a machine.
That is really something that you had to. You know what's really nice is that Carrie just very quickly just went and breached the triple digit just to make it look so aesthetically pleasing for us to review.
Does Mitch cover medical bills in this comp?
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so, man, because L2 just plays like in such a crazy way. He plays like, I mean, I don't know if the graphs kind of like show it, but he just plays like these long like 30+ hour sessions and then like sleeps for like 3 or like 5, just really low numbers and just keeps going. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Oh my God, what is this? This is like, hold on. Where did he? Monday, Tuesday. Is this like a nap? Is this a nap? I'm trying to find. You're kidding, dude. Where's the sleep for like the first 2 days?
I mean,
3?
I don't even think there was sleep at that point.
I don't think you sleep for the first 2 days.
I'm looking. Can you? I'm trying to. You guys can see my screen, right?
Maybe
we can't.
Go to his individual
we can't see your mouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe go to his individual page and you might be able to see it a bit easier.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna go to L2. Oh, What do you mean? You guys just can't see my mouse, right? It's not.
No,
Yeah,
it's not the announce. Yeah.
That's fine. I just thought that you couldn't see the screen or something for 1 second. Far out, man. Insane week from L2, the 15 mil fishing week, and then wow, what is that?
A little bit of Maggi.
Yeah, what is that? What is that for a fishing? Well, yeah, you hit the roofs a lot, but like you got to understand with the sleeping.
Oh yeah. Nothing against him.
Oh my god, this man didn't sleep for close to. He did 4 days. What? Fourth?
Yeah, he was. I was
Oh,
looking
no.
at like the logs in our Discord.
3
and
days.
He was sleeping like either 3 hours, like 3 hours to like 4.5 hours, and like we'd like call. He said call like if he's not up by like 5 hours in.
Yeah.
And that's like he said that like a few times. Like he did not sleep a lot at all.
How long did he sleep? 24 to. Yep. Okay, so he got like a big 11-hour sleep after nearly 4 days of gaming.
Well, some of that's probably just unlogged.
Yeah,
that
well,
got
but like it's the best that we like. I don't think he stayed up for 4 days, but like the XP
I don't
is
think
a little
it's
bit.
11 hours.
11.
I think
Yeah,
it's
he did not sleep much at all. Like,
Yeah.
Like I could, but
when
I
he
could
plays, he can stay
after
up for,
like after I assume I don't assume 4, but I assume after around 3 days of no sleep, sleeping 11 hours. Not well, he did a 150. You really can't afford to sleep 11. So yeah, this is also unlog, but. It, like a sleep around like 6 or so. I can't believe that we're talking in terms of like reference of like staying up for 3 days and sleeping like only 6. But like
He like
that's a
monster,
150.
man. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's been playing almost every week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%.
Yeah, he's been playing almost every week, but a lot of the MTF weeks have been kind of free as well. Like and I don't, that's nothing on MTFs. That's just how by chance, right? It's just how the rostering is like worked out from the matchup. So it's like, but God, you know what's funny is that during the draft I thought L2 got picked too high, but and that's not any doubt to him. It's just that I didn't think that like L2 could do this, you know.
Oh yeah,
No.
for sure. Like I didn't know too much about him before either.
Yeah.
Besides like he's like in Solus and
Yeah, I know L2. Like he's in like he's in the Olympus Discord. He's in Freak Show and stuff. He's a really cool guy, but I didn't know that L2 was gonna pop a 150 and like in like week 1 as well. He went insane.
I don't think anyone expects a 150 from like anyone.
Yeah,
nuts,
Well,
man. It's nuts.
It's
he's
actually insane.
he's one of the best players in fantasy so far. Wait, which one's Mitch? That's Mitch, right?
No, Mitch is Margiela.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so
One more thing about L2 before we move on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, of
like
course.
he doesn't complain at all as well. Like he's so
yeah.
like he just fucking games. Like he's not mean to like anyone. Like he's super nice and shit.
Yeah, no, he's a really really nice guy, and he just like vibes to Blade and plays his 150s.
Great guy.
He makes we don't want to delve in like this is the last thing you don't want to just say with that only thing, but he's made some beast like Photoshop memes for me. I've like
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
he made our
in the
team
past.
icon as well.
Yeah, your
actually.
team logo, which is definitely the rank 1 logo as well. So Solus J, we're gonna work our way down because the entire lineup is impressive. But Solus J Master, is that a personal best, a 115? What did he do? Oh, sorry, Solus Omnia. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean Omnia. Yeah, I know he's an Omnia, because I see his little icon in the Omnia Discord. 15 mil fishing week, beautiful. So this is a very
Shit,
purist.
Nothing else.
Look at
Looks
this
like
man.
I don't know what. Oh, maybe that's just like
No, that's accidentally hitting the rats.
yeah.
That's hitting the rats.
That's right.
Yeah. There's no. I assume he's not 200 mil attack strength and agility.
No,
So
he was two ticking.
that's hitting the rats. That's so funny. This is the cleanest CML I've seen so far in the comp. Oh, sorry, Temple. I don't want to. Yeah, forget CM. Temple, please sponsor us. Yeah.
Does not exist in this world.
Yeah, that's his PB week. So that's huge, man. Like last week, Sleeper did. He did his P.
I think.
Yeah. Well, when I say last week, yeah, you know what I mean. But wait, was that? Did he do that in week 5 or was that week 4?
I think it was I mean, he's not playing. He didn't play in Week 5.
Yeah,
did
yeah.
he?
I couldn't remember. I don't even remember what team he's on. But yeah, I know he did his 135. So it's another Omnia member launching their personal best. So really, that's huge and really nice temple. One of the cleaner ones to look at. So Mitch, what was he launching? Really. Mitch is essentially like almost like he's like a half captain. I know he's the co-manager, but I would consider him like as well as like a sort of half captain pick. So he's how's he managing the team from the internal sense? Is it split between him and Spangle?
Yeah. He's pretty. I mean, especially during this week, like when I was paying a lot more attention to the Discord, he was very hands-on because obviously he was at the computer a lot. And, Spangle would also just come in and just make sure everyone's doing everything good.
Kind of tend to the herd. Yeah,
kind of good cop, bad cop type beat.
Ooh, that's saucy.
Mitch just saying how it is. I mean, he was sleep deprived as much as any of us were. Yeah, and then Spangle would have a bit more of a cool head about things. But I'm pretty sure Mitch for this week he gave up I think he was going for a fishing month.
Yeah,
but he ended up giving it up just to do smithing.
Yeah. Someone bought him the gold ore, so shout out to whoever did that.
I can't remember who. I think it's there, like Pete.
Oh yeah.
It might be him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, shout out to the loan, baby. Let's go. You're never seeing that money again. I'll tell you that much. But so Mitch dropping the 111. So this guy just found out that Bibles exist. So he's like really into them right now. And it's very you can respect that he's having a good time running his team, dropping the 110. And Mitch can do. Mitch is another player in the sense that he can do as much as he really needs to for his team. He'd die for it. So, big dude, DB Cooper on the 110. Let's go. Hello.
Yep.
Damn, man.
He did great as well.
Oh, I like the RS3 Sharkhead.
I think he's doing Slayer.
Yeah, he's slaying. Oh my god, dude. 110 with 110. Really? Oh, yep. He's doing. He's doing the non-professional gamer task set. Okay, that's fine. Far out.
I think he mentioned saying he wanted to maybe go for the month or something. I'm not sure if how many weeks he's been doing Slayer or anything like that, but I think he's enjoying it.
Yeah, no, he's what's his Slayer at? But he's smashing it so far. He'd be a decent chunk into a month if you wanted to launch it. 56, yeah. Okay, cool, man. He's actually. I made a note on a notepad. He's actually been a really consistent player. He's played a lot of your weeks, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah.
Yeah, he's played a lot.
Did he do anything else like for the 6 hour? Was he slaying for the 6 hour? I can't remember.
Oh, update table time. Let's go. Here we go. What was he doing? It was no, yeah, he slayed for the 6 hour. He did just over HP. A little bit of agility in there. Beautiful. Oh, a little bit of agility in there, but it still went over. That's really cool, actually. Okay, so
they usually just go to this is what I just know from the others is that they just go to Agi while they're trying to clear out or wait for spots and stuff for.
Moving their ults. Yeah, like if you don't have maybe he doesn't have it depends on the player. Because you guys don't do Zars, right? A lot of Iron Men, they have to move ults for between Nex and Zars, or they move between Smokes and Zars. They don't just keep one. That's too many ults.
What I more meant was someone would be at Necreals and they wouldn't take payment or anything like that. So while they have to wait for the spot to be cleared, they just run the routes.
Yeah.
Because usually they just pay people 200k and just fuck off.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it works most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. God, what an insane we'll talk about this a little bit later in our playoff watch segment, but this is not the cap of your team, I don't think, Kaz. Would you agree with that? I think your team can do a lot higher than this.
Yeah, we can definitely go higher. The last few days, we definitely became a bit more relaxed.
Yeah,
sure.
No. So, what about you, Panda? Do you think when you look, you know of most of these players? Do you think that they can go higher than a 900?
I think. I mean, I'm not sure. Is Kaz even gonna play another week? I don't know. I don't know what your plans are.
You're done, bro, aren't you? You're done. You got dropped like Andy in Toy Story. What was your name, dude? You got dropped.
So I mean, halfway through the week, I'm pretty sure they were saying that we were projected to do 1,000.
Yeah.
I think if we just kept the pedal on, we could have done it, but
no,
100%. We didn't need to.
I mean, as long as these players play again. Because I don't know if, like, would Dimension do, like, a higher week
I
again?
think Dimension could. I'm not sure like what his logs look like. Let's see.
Oh baby, let's go.
Yeah,
'Cause
so he
I'm-
was also smithing. So as far as I remember, Mitch, Dimension, and Socha were all smithing.
Yeah.
So they were all like on the same world, watching each other. They would send screenshots of when they would just be sitting still, like AFK.
That's
in
good.
the Discord.
So Socha's another surprising one. He's like this is his first week on, right?
Yeah, he's I shot my wife.
Yeah.
just-
No, yeah,
just
yeah.
as
It's a
well.
really good
Yeah.
name. This is really. Let's see. Was he doing BF as well? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is Blast Furnace Cup 2020, man. At this point, 1 mil mining. Let's go.
Yeah, it looks like he might have done mining for the 6 hour maybe.
Yeah, he went.
I'm not sure when he did that.
He went and prayed to the Gatherer's Shrine for a little bit. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Respectable.
Damn.
There we go. So Socha coming in for his first week. 105 in your first week. You can never be upset with that. Especially like playing your first week when it like counts as well. That's like it's pretty nerve wracking for like a player that isn't terribly seasoned, at least in this fan. Like just, we're week 5 and you're only just coming in. And then he just slammed it out with the boys. So good on him. I can even tell that the flags are different between Australia and New Zealand because they're too small. But Gaslighter 98.
One's missing the big star.
Yeah.
This is me.
Gaslighter 98 doing one fifth of his or doing a quarter of his EHP nearly, just under a quarter of his EHP in a week on the Iron Man. So the strat is you had to get you had to get drafted on your main like to meet the requirements, and then we just then you pull the fast switch and then play on the Iron.
I asked Bailey if I could switch to my hardcore, so I could just
it's fine, of course.
Get free progression. So
And then
Mitch, like when the week first started, it was very funny. Just we were all just in voice chat for the first 6 hours, and I was doing fishing, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't have anglers. Mitch goes, you don't have anglers? I was like, yeah, I have 30k feathers. You have 30k feathers? Like I was just revealing everything wrong about my account, like at the start, and his hair was probably getting pulled out, bro. He was so happy.
You just saying to the ruse. Wait, you could fail when you started. You could fail Artie, right? Like
Yeah, I started at 92 IG, so I started taking screenshots of every time I fell. I was gonna send them to Mitch, but I feel like I was like damaging his mental enough as a
yeah, and he was already
trolling the whole time.
because he's trying to play hard as well, and then you're just slowly like making him just drag his feet
I was
under the
back in
table.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 or 3 days, I was like a little baby, like fighting back from. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It was,
I
eventually
don't
became
wanna.
like depressed and
Yeah.
just didn't stop typing. And,
Despite that, you did drop the rank on no angler 6 hour.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, well,
I don't know about that, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, I only did 15 hours of fishing, but
beast. There we go.
As the story goes, I ran out of feathers and I ran out of money. At least that's what I told Mitch.
Yeah.
So,
Ran out of chickens to board.
Definitely ran out of feathers there, so
Yeah.
I just had to move the agility.
You're the most successful hardcore in fantasy so far. So at least you have rank 1
That's good.
hardcore in fantasy, I
Bit of a
believe.
pat on the back.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, can you just pull up my graph at the bottom?
Yeah,
real
of
quick?
course.
Because you see, like on Sunday, like I was only told at the start of the week that I had to like go out like for like most of Sunday,
Yeah.
like morning and like afternoon. So
Yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
even- I mean, I tried playing on my phone a little bit. I just preferred not to.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. But at this point, Wizards had given up though. Like really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you were pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was fine. I kept asking Mitch. He's like, "No, log in just in case." I was like, "That was a test. I'm not logging in."
I like the consistent sleep schedule here. You can see very obvious steps essentially per
Well, I
day.
think I started at like 4.5, and then
Yeah.
I think I did a 3, and then another 4.5.
Yeah.
And then Sunday I just fucking slept. I'm
No, it makes sense.
done at that point.
Yeah. Insane
But, yeah,
matchup. Far out, man. And then Carry, like again, he popped the 100 week for posterity's sake. I assume he's slaying. No, he's Slayer. Sorry,
Yeah.
of course.
He was working as well.
Yeah.
On the weekend.
That's what Mitch told me, right? Is that so he had to work full time on the weekend, but essentially it was really good that Wizards gave up just before.
Yeah. So he was willing to call work off, but he really didn't want to. And
Yeah.
we had enough of a lead that we thought it was fine for him to go to work. So
Yeah.
we went.
No, it's fair. And guess
It was
yeah,
all good.
far right. Yeah, so like this is one of the best performances in fantasy in totality so far, and I believe it's just only like it's like this is like the baseline of anything that you guys will do in playoffs. I feel like it will only go higher at that point. And I'm not just saying that to your face because I've got receipts in the next slide that we're going to go to later on where I say something similar. So it's not just going to be one thing and say the other. I need to let my dogs out real quick. So you two talk to yourselves for like a minute while I go do something. And then we'll be back to move on and kick Kaz out and move on to the last matchup. So 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you guys
Probably
go?
been like,
Yeah, great. I got to know Panda a lot more.
Oh, lovely.
yeah,
I'll
are in love.
I'll never watch this back, so I'll never know what you guys. learn about
Dude,
each
you
other.
don't peer review your own videos. You
Oh
know,
God, no!
watch
No,
the quality.
I can't hear my own voice for like a second. So I think that's everyone though. But like
I
especially
love the sound of my own voice actually. So
that actually makes
That's
a
why
lot,
we talk so much.
that makes a lot more sense actually. About that's actually reading into a lot of things that I've thought about you for a while. So
Yeah.
thanks.
That
Yeah.
explains the ego. That explains the ego. For sure.
Yeah.
I will listen to myself all day.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. That was the MTFs and Wizards. Thank you for coming in as our third and final guest, Kaz.
No problem.
Thank you.
Honestly, you could stick around for the fourth one. We don't have anyone else to come. It's really
That's all right. I've gotta go make dinner or something like that.
yeah. Mom's calling. Mom's calling.
Yeah, I gotta walk the dog. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that /r/Nightwalk Andy. Okay,
Yeah.
you go. You go have fun, man.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in and stopping by and helping us look at your team in particular in the matchup that pretty much everyone had their eyes on this week. I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Fucking CVS. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, dude. Oh, Panda, we got one more to do. Okay.
It's been a long one.
Yeah, we got one more, man. So the last one that we can look at, I tried to get a third guest. I just couldn't find anyone that was like, because most of America's asleep right now.
I should be, but you know,
Sorry, I wanted to get a fourth guest. I mean,
the content.
yeah, and you're here for the content. We'll put your Twitter in the bio or something in the video, and then it's fine.
Thank you. I need the followers.
But so here we have probably one of the more embarrassing weeks for the Crows personally is that the Crows went down to the Bears this week in just a not close fashion. Bears played really well, and we're gonna have a look at the Crows and see why they actually because the Bears essentially only had 7 players and they still won. So we're going to look at why the Crows went down in a matchup like that, because we had 8 players, the Crows had 8 players, but we really just bottoming out this week. This is the most obvious bottom of any of the teams that we've seen in week 5 so far. But like obviously I can talk with actual context behind these things, so it explains some stuff. But what's jumping out to you right now? Why do you think that maybe the Crows lost this week?
Well, you see, Timos.
Yeah.
He did a 55 week. I know he can do more, so I'm a little curious on.
Yeah. So Timo's essentially his IRL just got like really good. Like he's just enjoying life right now. I think like coronavirus restrictions or something were lifting. So or like at least where he lives or something like that. So he pretty much said to me like, yeah, man, I'm logging out. Have fun. But it's like. It's complete. Like this is something that like Timos was just playing until like Corona was kind of lifted. He had some stuff he had to take care of, so it's completely respectable. But his week kind of ended very early, so that's very fair. Munt coming in. Munt, to be fair to Munt, like you again, because like we kind of told our team they could slow down because there was no really hope in us winning by the end because we were very slow. Very slow off the mark. The Crows were, if you look at the graph, really not too hot to trot. Taking at least 3 days for anyone on the team to hit a 50 week, right? So like the team is really on a slow pace this week. Just for there's a multitude of reasons. Like people really like some people had exams, some people just like couldn't play because they had to go do stuff IRL, stuff like that. But essentially, really, the total average hours are incredibly low. Like Higer is being Higer, of course, at the very top here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Typical Higer, I guess.
Yeah. So Higer's he's going for a multitude of things. I think he was shooting for a fishing month, and he's also I think he does have his eyes set on an EHP year month, or an EHP year month. Yeah, exactly. You know, he has his eyes set on a really good EHP year rank.
Iron Man or overall?
Well, overall. So like, yeah. So like the only one that matters essentially. I think.
He's gonna be competing with Rodney Mullen or Farva.
Yeah, yes, but even like he'll have to do Iron Man stuff, which will like certainly hurt the overall. But like at least at the very least, his Iron Man year will be insane. I think he's really going to push it this year. But he's one of the, I think he's one of the better players, Iron Man or not, to even touch the game. He's actually been very invested in fantasy. What people might not know is that he's not like an independent Finnish player. He does play to his own, like he'd be doing this anyways. It's not because of fantasy, but he's very invested in like the team and the Crows and stuff like that, and like, you know, where everyone's going and how everyone's playing and stuff. He's not you know, he's very quiet, keeps to himself. But he's a really good team member. But we'll flip from Higer. We go back down. Munt was working, you know, full time in this week. Really appreciate him stepping up and stuff. But he slowed down. Munt was doing Prif Agility the entire time because he's an Iron Man as well. So
let's take a look. 58.
Yeah. So he sat at Prif the entire time. So
Forgot
yeah. Munt's done bigger weeks. Munt's done triple digits in fantasy before. He can push it. He's a full-time worker at the moment. He had some days off this week, but yeah, we were just too slow off the mark, and Bears really took advantage of that and just surged through for the win. So a lot of the time it's people letting up. Oslo had a really low week, very out of character for Oslo, but it's I think Oslo he was feeling a bit sick or a bit ill or something like that. But more so, the team was kind of feeling very dejected by the very end of it because we just kind of got blown out of the water by a Bears that were just like, they were just gunning for it with the people that they did have playing. But Oslo's been doing VM, so essentially a lot of people in Crows are doing VM right now. Much to your disgust, Pando.
No, I'm not a.
You're not anti-VM? Beast.
I'm not anti-VM, even though I am 4G gang.
Yeah. No, I respect it. So Oslo, Killzone, Vinny are very eager VMers. So a lot of team elements there where they all play together.
Vinny is. Oh wait, no, he's not. He didn't play this week.
No. Vinny didn't play week 5. So Vinny had finals this week. He had final exams. So best of luck to him with that one. We sent him off on those, so he had a good time with that. Killzone as well, very uncharacteristically low week for him. Just for he was, you know, he just had other stuff going on. He wasn't really feeling it, but it's just all VM. You know exactly what. Not even like no agility either. Like this dude, he logs in. He does his 16 to 18 hours of VM a day, and he logs out.
Well, I heard VM probably similar to RD, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, VM is very AFK. No one debates that. He really like Killzone. I know he cooks full meals while like doing VM and not missing ticks.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I guess.
It's and he said that himself. It's coming from him. So Tiger Suit here. So Juke. This is Jukebox Romeo. He's another Iron Man. He's a gatherer Iron Man. He just really loves like his gatherer methods. He was working full time during the entirety of this week, and he's also playing this week, still working full time. So it's actually like it's real big props to him.
Full time from home, or did he have to leave?
I'm not sure. I believe he has to leave, but I could be wrong on that. So I think I know he does like full 40-hour work weeks sort of thing. So to pull an 80, because like when I talked to Juke to rostrum, I knew that like it would be something around here, and he just performed exactly to what he said to at least to like myself and stuff. He's been doing a lot of 2-tick. He's set he has the 2-tick 6-hour record, I believe, for fishing. Like across all accounts, not just Iron Man. Where's fishing?
Really? It's pretty good.
There it is. He has Temple Lake shows it. Yeah, he has the rank 1 6 hours, so he's really fleshed out 2-tick fishing. A really big day as well. And he did the week in week 2, I believe. He did a 2-tick fishing week in week 2. So that was really, really cool. A lot of these players, you're probably just like, who are these people?
I recognize. I recognize Jukebox. I don't know where from, but I recognize the name.
Yeah, he's been around. He's in like Skilling Methods Discord and stuff like that, I believe. He's has some stuff in there. So, actually,
I recognize
Sorry
Everyone
about
here
that.
except Munt.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
That's fine. Yeah, Munt's Olympus Ironman. He's a cool dude. He's been.
Sorry. I just hate Iron Man, so the team just disgusts me.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. So, oh, why? We already clicked on Jing. Okay, I wanted to move up to Moxie. So actually, Moxie has been a really surprising factor in fantasy. He's actually, if you go to players, he's actually one of the more consistent players in the entirety of fantasy. Not that. So I don't want to speak for him. It's not. I'm not going to say that he does care about fantasy, but what I will say, which I really respect Moxie for, is that when the boys need someone to step up, Moxie always steps up. He's played but it's very surprising because no one would have expected Moxie to do that, right? So here he is. So Moxie's averaging like essentially 100 weeks, and he's played every week of fantasy, right? Every single week of fantasy he's played, and his best week he did a 121 in week 2, which no one expected. At least not because he couldn't do it, but more so no one would expect him to go so over the top for fantasy. But he did that in week 2. So Moxie's been one of the am I on the right thing? Yeah. Moxie's been one of the more consistent players for our team. He's been a real staple and a cornerstone of the roster. And just another solid-ish performance from Moxie. Like this is what a 90 is what everyone expects, or what he says himself is that around his range.
Yeah, that's probably what he does normally, so you can expect that from him pretty much every week.
Yeah, no, he's a really good pick. He really fills out the roster most of the week, so he is slaying with a little bit of Black D hide, a little bit of fantasy Black D hide in there.
Not sure if it's fancy or just chilling.
Yeah, no,
he
that's
would change his play style. That would be a bit too.
No, he would not. It's just more so like just your BF Black D hide and 2-tick fishing. It's like the flavor of the month right now. And then we have Cosine is another Iron Man who has actually come out of nowhere. He's come out of nowhere, but he doesn't like come out of nowhere and like been perm banned. Sort of come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like he's a really micro intensive player. He's really good at fishing, and he's put up some really strong weeks so far. He kept up with Higer. I think he's done a 130 something like that. We'll check his record in a second. What did he do this week? He did a bunch of agility. Because his internet connection was shoddy or something like that, and he was also feeling a bit like out of it because the team wasn't exactly performing. But Crows are still like we're trying this week, and we're going to continue to do the best that we can in the rest of the season. But this is definitely not one of the better weeks for the team. But he spent most of the time at Artie, and then he's just continuing to do Barb. What's his fishing at? But he's a new player. This is essentially like a guy that's like brand new to like competitive skilling in the sense, and he's like really found his footing.
Bringing in the new players in for fantasy, maybe.
It's good to see like the fresh, and it's good to see fresh blood that is doing so well like right off the bat as well. It's really nice to see. But yeah, he's essentially like a freshly maxed Iron Man, right? And he's just starting to do the things that Iron Man can at least do in fantasy. So he's hit the roofs and he's done some fishing. So
fantasy really like kind of gets new players motivated too. So
yeah, exactly. And because like a lot of people. Would you agree that like in fantasy, right? A lot of people, they join in fantasy, and if they participate a lot and they're sort of new, they like come out of it and they're like almost like 3k EHP or like they're like 2.6k EHP or something like all of a sudden, and they're like, damn man, like I'll keep going, you know?
Yeah, it motivates players and also like lets people realize like what they can do.
Yeah.
So I feel like it also just makes them better skillers.
Yeah. No, that's true.
For some people.
Yeah, I think I think you're right in the sense that like people realize their potential and then they just like they keep up the momentum post fantasy. Like you don't like you can be on a good or a bad team. I think just participating in the competition semi regularly, it really kind of fleshes out people's abilities in terms of how much they want to put into skilling, and it's really cool to see. But we'll look out very quickly with the Crows roster. We have Higer. Essentially, Higer doing Higer things. He's going. He did 2-tick fishing. He's been doing that for the last month. I think he's currently on a 67 mil month of fishing, which is pretty. It's pretty intense. So he's really been.
That is insane.
he's luring the rats a little bit, and he's just been sitting there doing his 2-tick. He likes the method. What's his fishing at now though? Stats. He thinks the method. Yeah, he's launched it to 100. He's essentially he's just below. He was just below, like, he was around 30, 35, and now he's launched it to 103. But he's really, he doesn't think the method is too bad. He thinks it's like, I think he thinks it's like boring, but I think that's everyone. But he's really, look at his month really quick. What is he at? He's on yeah, it's a 488 because he's just finished the fishing. So really huge month.
It's like all fishing too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 67. It's I think a couple of weeks ago it was higher than this. It was like a 530, something like that. 520. So yeah, he's look. Ooh, this is a very purist CML. So all this is luring the rats, fishing, and then like herb lore from.
Probably.
Where do you get that? It's not.
Probably just doing it when he has to like eat or something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm just like, I'm trying to think of all the Iron Man stuff because it's like, it's not contracts. It's not. He didn't do a herb run because there's no. Well, he could have done a herb run, but it's like, yeah, it's. I don't know if he start. I could just ask him. I don't know if he started herb running again. So like, obviously this isn't all from cleaning herbs, but like I was thinking maybe some of his cleaning herbs while he's doing herb runs, but I'm not sure if he's back to those yet. I'd have to ask him. But yeah, essentially just a really low week from the team. It's not. Look, because obviously I'm talking from from a place where like I know what's going on in the team, so it's like it's more so. It's hard to like speculate because I know what's going on, but I'm not. It's not so much. It's not so much like a worried indicator of the team's trend. This was just a really inconvenient week for a lot of people. It's just a really low week. So hopefully, with the rest of the weeks that we have left, with 6 and 7, we have a very strong. We're playing K-Girl this week, just for some fun. So we have a very strong roster. Hopefully for week 6 and 7, and people are. They still want to win. They still want to play. No one's giving up or anything like that. So, but I think the Crows learned their lesson about momentum off the block, right? With if you don't get going quickly, then the rug can get pulled out from under you. And I think it's a lesson that, including myself, I won't forget really. So we look at the winning team. This is the surprising part, right? Is that there's two things? There's two things that are surprising here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I did know about the mining week.
Yep.
But did not know that Michael played a 5.
Yep. So
can you show me what the 5 AHP is in?
I believe it's fishing.
Nice.
No,
I wonder
sorry, it's roofs. It was like it was like an hour of 5 tick and then some roofs. Yeah.
I wonder what happened this week.
This wasn't a 6 hour, by the way. He just like did this during the week. This wasn't he didn't 6 hour or anything like that.
He just like logged in randomly and did like a 10 minutes party or something.
Yeah. So I think he just kind of played at some point. But yeah, okay. so the Crows went down to essentially a 7. Like it really is 7v8. And if you look at this roster and how much people played, the big thing here is that Pano did the mining week, so grats to him, as wise words have been said before.
Well, we have Pano with the mining week.
Grats to him. That's an iconic moment there. But this isn't indicative of the mining week, by the way. So his mining. Yeah. No, I was going to say. So his mining week was a 150. This is just what happened in fantasy. So obviously. But look at this, man. I'm going to zoom out. Look at this temple. Look at that. That is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he also just kind of did this after not playing for like 2 years or something.
Yeah. So he was on. I think I checked when I saw the roster and they had him on. I think he was on a 23 EHP year before this. Actually, sorry, and I think 12 of that was him practicing mining or something like that, or like 9 of that was him practice. So he essentially just did not log into the video game for a full year, and then he comes back and drops the 150 rank 1 mining week.
One of the best weeks in the game.
Yeah, so this is essentially one of the more impressive achievements that I've just pretend this for people viewing. Pretend this is a 150. Just imagine that he did it during fantasy, like so. It's because when we say rank 1 mining, we mean the 150 that he did. So it's one of the more impressive achievements ever undertaken on RuneScape, but even more so from a player that hadn't touched the game in well over a year. I didn't, what I don't really know what to say about it more so than like it. He really just kind of went and did that, Like,
yeah, he really did just do that.
He kind of just came back and proved that he's one of the best, one of the better players to ever touch skilling in that sense of the word. Now the real question is, does he continue playing? I don't know.
I mean,
I'll get rid of the
he
offset.
got the record, so
Yeah.
What? No need to play anymore, right?
I think he got the record and he's now logged back out of the RuneScape client. So massive.
Oh yeah,
massive.
Of course, he's
respect
not
to
gonna log in unless he plays in a week, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
Who knows if he will, I believe.
Exactly. So we talked about Michael not logging in. Levine doing exactly what he usually does.
This is typical Levine.
The thing
72.
The thing is that usually Levine's performances are sandbagging his team because the Bears have had somewhat of a rough season. They're coming out of it now. The Bears are really turning their season around. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
They've started to find their footing, and they're starting to kind of tear their way through the competition a little bit, like they've just done with the Crows, right? But Levine's performance didn't matter too much because his team absolutely just went to the moon and back. But and this is just about usually what he does, right? Something around here. It's a fine bottom end. Levine does Levine things, and you can't.
Just does what he wants.
What I'm curious to see is if Levine absolutely pops off in playoffs, or if he even play. Because the thing is with the Bears.
I don't think he does the pop off in playoffs thing. We played against him in finals last year, and I don't think he was playing the most. He might have played like a decent amount, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, also didn't play that week, so.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just like because he's one of the more motivated people in terms of like fantasy. Because he was like a commissioner at some point before the league started, and he's very into his team and into the health of the league as a whole. But I wanted to know if maybe like that sort of intensity would translate to a performance in playoffs or something like that. But either way, I think Levine is really good locker room for the team. And they're look at this week, man. They're from some of the 2 to 5, they're just finding their footing finally. Windows 10 again. You could bag that into a similar. What country is he from? Portugal. You could bag that into a similar sort of team, similar sort of term with Levine here, is where they're just doing what they do, right?
Yeah. Is that what he does, or is that a little more?
No,
okay.
I think this is this could be a little bit more. I've just been told by like other people that Windows 10 sort of performs around here. That's fine. Hebox, he's a fresh Omnia member coming back in. I believe he's on a 400 month. We'll check out what he's doing. Oh, this is a Sea of Green. He's 7 mil hunter, 1.8 mil mining, 2.2 mil fire making.
Hopping around a bit, mostly fishing and hunter.
The bulk is fishing and hunter, so he did some blacks. Oh no, DriftNet. What am I thinking? I forget.
Isn't that?
This is all DriftNet. Sorry, this is DriftNet. So, I know he does DriftNet. I just see like 5 mil hunter plus, and I just think blacks immediately. But like this is all the fishing and the hunter are all DriftNet. He's a very big proponent of DriftNet, much like most of Omnia. So I think he really enjoys it. A lot of people are buying up nets right now, because it's a really good method actually. It's because of RuneLite plugin makes it like really easy Pandobra at the moment. Yeah, they kind of now that plugin's available, it really helps people to get over EHP or at least 1-to-1 with the method. What do we have next, man? The captain.
Ooh, the king. He is always a fan of these competitions, I believe.
Yeah. How does he? Well, Solus is rigged, man, but I need to figure out how does he still have any agility left? I feel like he's been doing agility forever. Oh my god. Rigged? No, he made like a tweet like Solus is like rigged or something that. Yeah. But oh my, I guess
Yeah,
I'm very wrong. I thought he had like no agility left, but he's only done 120.
he is gaming.
So
That is just, I think that's the only skill he can really do for good EHP right now.
yeah. Let's look here. Yep.
Yeah,
That's not. This isn't really his forte, so he can't really touch that. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, dude. His account is kind of bricked for fantasy when you think about it.
yeah. I mean, he's just got so much like so many skills done, so it kind of limits what he can do.
Yeah. 60. Yeah, con would go too quickly, and that's also too much clicking. But yeah, like far. The week out of him is really respectable at the end of the day. He's actually been performing really well in fantasy. I know the Bears, they're only just coming into their shell. Well, Bears don't have a shell, but metaphorically, they're only just coming out of their shell at the very least, like as of recently. But Cap King himself has been performing really well in the weeks that he's been playing.
Yeah, he is a big fan, and he doesn't like it when people play Hello Kitty Adventures on his team. Michael might have done a bit of that.
Yeah, I think Michael did a little bit of Hello Kitty, a little bit of trolling. But they, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, obviously, because they took the win, baby. So
I mean, I guess Iron Men really are just that easy.
they're either they're fishing or they're doing agility in fantasy. That's the only two places you're going to catch them. And yeah, and they really did get caught out this week.
We got our
including
soulless superstar
Yeah,
right here.
Blue Bonnet
Still
with the
man, I believe.
yeah with the this is a little bit, this is inflated because he's been doing O+4, so it's a little bit, you can take off whip out the Windows calculator, take off 26940 divided by 240, 28, so you can take off 15, 14, 15, 16, something like that off the rune crafting. But still, like I'm not trying to take away from the guy. I'm just trying to give like the real hours.
So yeah, like a 115.
Yeah, a 115 performance from Blue Bonnet, which essentially hard carried this team. Him, Harmony, and Pano were like the golden trio here. A little bit of GE fire making in the middle there, and then really
chill vibes. Wait, what's it?
I kind of.
Oh yeah,
I was half an agility. I was gonna say, man, is this like does he go to GE to like log out for the night? But I guess he does go to Artie. I thought it'd be pretty beast, but he has 20 hours of fire making, so it's. But that's the. I'm what I am surprised actually is that fire making is not more of a prevalent skill so far we've seen in the players.
Firebond rate it should be, so unless you have cooking done, you'd have to firebond.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that like a lot of people just have cooking done. But to be fair, the people that have cooking done also usually have fire making done at this point in 2020. So it's like, all the trio players are have exactly that. They finish their trio and they've moved on, so they never really have to touch those skills.
500k XP skill.
It's a weird trap, right? Where a method like you can get 1-to-1 in a method and it's substantially easier just if you complete one thing beforehand, so it's a little bit of a catch-all there for a lot of players, which I think is, you're right, it's one of the deterrents here. So Vior finishing it off, so Vior, he did 90 week of agility. This is werewolf, I believe it's all werewolf, and he did prayer scaled at 2.4 mil an hour, so I think he was doing player owned house.
Yes, I think I saw him do some of that.
Yeah, so he's doing player owned house because he's just finishing the game at this point. And then
he is close around 100 hours, right?
Yeah, nothing
at this point.
Yeah, it's just agility, man. It's just agility left.
Yeah, just agility.
I wouldn't consider anything else. Yep.
Maybe it's 5 hours of prayer.
Yeah,
and
nothing.
3 hours or 2 hours of woodcutting.
Yeah, so he's so they don't. Oh yeah, they can play him next week, and then they might not. Oh well, wait. Next week is this week.
97 EHP left or something.
You could it's hard. It's higher than Michael or Levine. You could play Vior over any of these players. And so, but maybe they'll just play them all again. But I forgot that next week is now this week, so we can just go check that in a little bit. So we've covered this team. Do you have any lasting thoughts before we head over to the last segment?
Very surprising. They managed to win with a 5 on their team, and
For
pretty
sure.
pretty big turnaround from week one first couple weeks when they were looking like really weak.
Yeah. Well, I think the curse, right, is that I think they looked very strong in week one. It's just the fact that they lost and then you immediately go 0-2 because of that. So it's like they did play really well, but it just they couldn't get it back together after that 0-2. And now they're like, you know, week three and four they were kind of a bit shaky. Well, they did get gifted one week, I believe. I could be wrong though. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think they did. I think they did get a free.
They played the Wizards after they played the
Yeah.
Crows.
They lost to the Wizards in 4.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no, sorry, they got gifted the KKC week, right?
Oh,
was-
okay.
yeah. So they got that win there, and then they took this win here against us. But yeah, they were the better team this week. That's really it. All they needed was 7 people. All they needed was 7 people to take out the Crows this week. So hopefully, really, the thing that I want to take away from here is that again, like I'm talking from, because I know how everything's going on, is hopefully that the Crows will bring it all together, because the Crows have done a 960 week before. So like obviously one of those players is just deleted from the game now, but like you could replace that with someone else, and like maybe subtract off 20-30 hours. So maybe that's like a 930, 920 with like our next with the next best bench. So the Crows can do high hours. It's just whether they can get it together, sort of thing. And I don't think motivation's a problem either. It's just availability and fielding everyone all at the same time and having a really nice concerted effort. So we'll see how that goes against GVG. And then the Bears, they just have to keep it up, man, right? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it up, but maybe get an ace player.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt. Yeah, well, AJ can self-pick, but he's a very busy man. So
He's
he's got 7 children, 8 children, whatever
might
it
need to
is.
fake his death for a few weeks if he wants to be able to play.
So we've gone through all the matchups. It's taken 2.5 hours.
Oh yes.
And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll through. We Pandobra and I have decided to actually go through, after 2.5 hours of evaluating week 5, that we're gonna go through and make some brief conversation on the strengths of each of the teams. Not including my team, because I'm on here, and not including Pando's team. So we're like all the teams that aren't our teams, that can like have a chance to go to playoffs. We're going to talk about how we think they might go if they're in playoffs, and we've called this segment Playoff Watch. Okay, so we're welcome to Playoff Watch.
Very.
Yeah, so this is Playoff Watch with Pandobra and Wheatbick. I went ahead and designed a slide for us, and I've represented all the teams on the slide in one way or another. I didn't get the eagle from like past teams, like your old team.
Yeah, the Kakas, one of the best fantasy teams
Yeah,
ever
we
graced
do.
this world.
I do have the Seagulls up here in the top right. So essentially, with Playoff Watch, we're going to walk through each of the teams. So they're in no particular order, but we've just made some short notes on each of them, and we might talk about that, and then we'll finally maybe wrap this up. But I hope you've enjoyed the Playoff Watch title screen. But okay, so I have to click. Our first team that we're going to be looking at is the Ketamine Crew. So what do you don't have to what are your initial thoughts on? Okay, so the situation that we want to imagine here is that we are in semifinals, right? All the playoff teams are playing their semifinal, or they're playing their grand final. So forget about the regular season. How do you think this team does?
Okay.
They've had a week rest.
Yeah. So this team, I think blind, real cute, Swift's gibberish can all do like really high weeks, maybe like 120, 130.
Yeah.
And then so that's like solid half of the roster, or it's half of the week or whatever. They'll probably do like a 120-ish.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a few other players kind of fill. I'm not sure how their bottom would be like in terms of a playoff
Well, we can
100, but I feel like they can get like a pretty good.
We can look at their. Here we go. This is brilliant. Can you see this okay on your stream?
No, but I can just open up their roster on my. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
I see it now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so there we go. So yeah, I've got this up here, right? So the problem, like what we said before, is that they really kind of don't have much of a flex in terms of a bench, right? So like,
Yes.
but the thing is, we're talking about we're in playoffs now, so we're in so it's just a matter, can they field eight available? And you're right, I think Blind, Tupaki, real cute. Swifts could self pick for playoffs depending on how busy it is. Gibberish. I think.
Yeah, they're pretty solid in playoffs. I think, at least for 1 week.
I think, oh man, you know what the case might be is that this is a phenomenal playoff team, but I just think that they are like a little bit, like they're just a little bit less phenomenal than like something like MTFs or something like that. We'll talk about them later. Like, so it's like it's just gonna be one of those cases where everyone can absolutely just like, nose to the grindstone a week, but I feel like the cap for KKC, as brilliant as they have been coming through the season, is just going to be a little bit lower than some of the other teams we might look at in playoffs, right? Just because of, like, you're right, that maybe that 5, 6, 7, 8 slot, it might not be like 120s, which like some of these teams, it might be like 115 minimum. It might be something like that.
Yeah.
So
definitely like really scary in playoffs, but not like insane like some of the other teams that we would look at.
Yeah, that's fair. So I though, do you think they have a shot of winning? I think they have a shot at winning. Like,
I think they have a chance, but I don't give them too many odds.
yeah, I think there's historically been teams that can absolutely dominate seasons, like KKC have, and then they just hit playoffs and they just instantly ran over. Like so that's happened. I think it was Dan S's, the squad that he was on. Was it the Devils, or which was that the bad one? The Jostlers. Sorry, no, you're right. The Jostlers had a fantastic season, hit playoffs, and just get kicked, and then they got their teeth kicked in immediately. So it's like, because they just can't field that upper echelon of hours that most people would start to see in playoffs. But I think they definitely have a shot, because like we already underestimated them once. So like at the start of the season, I think maybe we could do it again and we could be proven wrong. But yeah, at least I just think that they're capped out below a little bit some of the other teams.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to like finals.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would agree. I could see this team in finals, depending on who they verse in week 2. If this team goes, the teams that I think could take out KKC are Wizards and more so MTFs. I think those are the teams. Yeah,
what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think those are I think KKC, they take out GVG and they take out Bears. Those are the other teams that we have in here, by the way, and we left out Pandobra and myself's team. So we moved to did I spell Mauritania right? I don't know if I did. I think I did.
Yeah. That's right.
So we have the MTFs. Some of the notes we put on here is that, like, this is, I don't know if you agree with me, but I personally think that this team has the highest ceiling of hours for playoffs, like by far, like second to none. Like I think this team beats out Wizards in terms of total hours they could put up, because like they're a comp player team. That's just how I feel. Or do you think Wizards is higher? What do you think?
Well, could you show me the team? Like,
oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense, right? So, I believe this team could put out the highest amount of total hours in a playoff week over any of the other playoff teams.
You need to exit like full screen or whatever. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, I have to like click the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know I had to do that. Sorry. Okay, all good. We're back. Okay. I'll do that every time now.
So, in terms of playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, L2 is really good.
Mitch
is obviously going to play off room.
Yeah.
Dumbfounded and Carey have both done like a 150 week.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they would do it again, but they have the ability to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dimension is good. I don't know how much he wants to play.
Yeah.
But he could definitely play a lot.
That's fair.
And then Kaza, yeah. Obviously,
let's
be like 100, but he's kind of limited by his account.
Yeah, Kaza could get bullied into playing again. So like
he could,
yeah, for sure.
Doesn't want to play though.
Yeah, it's just I think the question is whether you can get the hours out of players like Alex and dude, anger could pop off, man. Hey, but like it's just like they won't get him to. I don't think. But like
I don't think they will either.
that,
They
that-
could. Oh,
that's a player.
Socha's also good. Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, they have they have Soch on the roster, and he only just played this week.
Yeah.
Like,
He's very good.
yeah, like
Player.
they have 8. They certainly have 8 that could all like at minimum. I
They
think
have
they're doing
the
110s.
Yeah, they have the potential. I don't. I'm just clueless as to whether or not they will play.
Yeah,
Like the players that could do really well will play or not.
yeah. It's only like, oh god, I'm still looking at that L2 week. It's the problem is that they could. I think the team that wins this fantasy is the one that has it's not going to be about being top heavy. I don't think. I think a team like Wizards, where they can have a very considerably even spread over the hours from their 1 to 8 picks, I think are going to be like the type of teams that win this league. And I think MTFs can do that. I think Wizards. Sorry, I think Wizards and KKC are teams that can spread their hours over their 1 to 8th pick. But I think with MTFs, right, I do think that they can do the most hours out of any of the playoffs teams. But I think like their top 3, 4 are just going to be like absolutely like 130, 140 territory, 100%. And then like they're gonna have a 7 and 8 that maybe is like in the low triple digits. It's tough. But the talent on this team I think is phenomenal. I would pick them as maybe a fantasy winner. I think like right now, like if I was gonna say a team that's gonna win fantasy, I would say that it's MTFs. That's gonna be my guess.
I was more confident before I saw the names, but it's still
It's less now?
they're definitely still like a contender for winning.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a shoo-in. Like I'm not like MTFs are winning fantasy, but in terms of like the other teams we're going to go through, I think MTFs for me personally have the largest shot for sure. And that's just that's the Wheat Big hot take, right? So
I would have to see the other teams, but
yeah, we'll go to the, I don't know why I keep going into this mode, but we'll go into presentation mode again. So the next team is Wizards. We'll go back and look at them. My initial thoughts for this team was like they're all really good at RuneScape, and they've shown with like this week and week 2 that they can do playoff level hours. Like it's completely, so like they're one of the teams where it's like about a round where they can do already, and that's like their week 2 performance could win in a semi or a final. Like that's a semi or a final hours like put up, right? Like a 970.
that week 2 is insane.
Yeah.
What was 9 what?
970. They did a 970 and they didn't have anyone that got permabanned for cheating. So it's like an actual 970.
Yeah, and
yeah.
yeah. So that's like a 120 average or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's really 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 intense, right? So like they're completely proven. And it's just I don't know, like the negative that we have on the slide really is it's not really that much of a negative. It's like they have to play the same players every week let me go to the thing before we go to GVG. They have to play the same players every week, which is like one of the downsides. But like you get that week break before playoffs, so like do you think maybe that this team is better than MTFs? Like,
yeah, I think that the week break will be like enough for them to play more if they want to.
yeah,
I don't know how badly they want to win fantasy or how much they care or whatever. They probably care a lot, but
well, that's what I cited as. Sorry, you go.
I think. Well, I mean, if you just look like at the right side there, like all their best weeks are really high. Like, and if they can field all those players, they could do another 125, like maybe even 130 average.
Yeah.
If they push it higher.
Yeah. So like look at you're right. Oh damn, you're right. So look at these. These are 9 players. So you just take out the witch week and everyone's doing at minimum 120. And like most people are in the 130s. Like that's a comp winning lineup, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And like even if someone's not available, they have players that can flex into an 8th slot and like do fine. Like Witch can push himself. Like he could maybe do a little bit more than his personal best. Some of these players, like Larry, they'll never play Vorpal. Larry's doing VM, so he won't push himself. No XC is slaying, I think. Acid Frick's maybe not available. So it's like, I don't know. But essentially, I think it's like they just need like an 8th player, like if someone's not available. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't even know how badly they want to win fantasy, but I think that they can for sure.
Yeah, probably. I think looking at this, I think they're probably the best team to take it.
Yeah, that's fair. No, like I think that's a really fair like way to evaluate it. I think they're really strong. Like I think MTFs. I just because like I can't get over that the MTFs are like they're essentially a comp team. So it's like I think Mitch can really just like make them go nuclear. So like their top end is really top. But Diglett, Desper, Ook, Erex. That's 4 players that can absolutely just surge ahead. So maybe Wizards do take it. I think this is a very for sure. This is a very good example. You know what we talked about when we looked at KKC, where like KKC is a great team, but like, do you think they're going to best the hours of a team like this in playoffs? Like, I don't think so. That's like the main thing, right? And even though they're amazing, they're an amazing team. I just don't think they get any further than like a very motivated Wizards. But then again, it could be proven wrong for a second time, to be fair. So then we have GVG. So GVG are one of the teams that they came online a little bit later in the season, right? And we kind of covered all of this. When we talked about their matchup.
We did talk a lot about their potential, I think.
Yeah, so we'll just go right to looking at their team, right? So it's like, what do we say again? It's essentially like they're a really consistent team, but their hours might cap way too low for like playoffs. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and they don't have Arnett or whatever. I don't even know what happened there. Like,
yeah, I don't. I know they don't have him, and I don't know why. Like, I'm not going to ask or anything. Like, but yeah, I'm pretty. As far as I'm, I can't talk. Do I have to click on the? Oh, sorry. There we go. Yep. There we go.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So as far as I know is that they don't have Arnett. I assume they don't have him for playoffs, and I don't know why, and that's fine. But yeah, so he that's a pretty big hit because he can go massive. But yeah, they might be in the KKC basket for me, where it's like they're again a brilliant team, but they've come together a little too late. But I just think that they capped too early. But like, GT's a bit injured. I think I don't think Rithvik's been really good in fantasy so far, but like I don't think that he can do the 120. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if he has before.
Yeah.
Or what. I think. I mean, D4L has done like 140 plus before. I don't know if he wants to play. Like I'm kind of clueless on what the state is of everybody on this team.
Yeah, me
I know
too.
Rodney would. I mean, just plays 120s all the time. So
yeah, I wonder if anything even changes for Rodney. Oh god, he's done 600 hours in fantasy with a 120 average. Oh my Christ, dude, come on. This guy is just like playing RuneScape around people in circles at this point. So yeah, like, but it's having Rodney is not. And oh wow, like Fastit is one of the players I would say would be like on the players to watch sort of list if you were going to make one of those, which we didn't because we're approaching 2 hours and 45 minutes or something. I would put Fastit very high on there, but yeah, I just they have a shot. That's pretty much what I would say is that they have a shot. Do I believe that they have the coronavirus epidemic numbers of 8 people inside their homes for a week? For like almost essentially 2 weeks straight to take it out over 2 other teams that are in a similar notion? I don't think so.
I think it's unlikely they get very far.
Yeah. So, but if they do get to playoffs, I don't think that they get past semis. I think they lose to if they play MTFs or they play Wizards. I think they just straight lose, and I think they could fight KKC. which is
I think KKC definitely has the edge on that,
oh
though.
for sure, yeah. Like I think GVG out it so far because remember we're talking about so for any of the team members. Like don't get angry at us. We're not talking about the season at all. We're talking about these teams in playoffs only. Like we're pretending the season doesn't exist. So it's like you just have to play like your absolute. Just like it doesn't matter how consistent you are. If you're consistent as only 100-hour weeks, because that's just not going to win fantasy, unfortunately, with everyone home. Home stretch, Pandobra. Home stretch. Burthorpe Bears. Burthorpe Bears. We don't need the extra R in there. So they have a shot, actually. If they don't drop a game, they can get into playoffs through tie breaks because they can win the head-to-head against Crows, and they can win the head-to-head against... well, if there's a three-way head-to-head between Bears, Crows, and GVG, then it will come down to ours, which might even mean GVG get through instead of Crows, or instead of Bears as well. So essentially there's ways for Crows, there's ways for Bears, and there's ways for GVG to get into playoffs, and those three teams are going for the fourth spot, and one of them will get it. Assuming. Yeah, for sure. This is assuming that Wizards don't end, because like Wizards, they lost this week. If they continue to lose, then they would be, then they would push down to fourth, and then another team might be able to snag a third place. So, but yeah, it's an exciting like kind of three-way sort of tie break that looks like it's starting to form. But we'll see how that plays out for those three teams. But the Bears, so they have a shot. That's why they're on here, right?
Yeah.
And then the KK isn't on here, and then our teams aren't on here. But so they have a shot if they keep winning. I think they're in the same vein of GVG where they've come together too late. So like all their money has to be on the line like right now because they can't lose. Like if they lose, they're instantly out. So that's like one kind of scary thing. Let's look at their roster.
Yeah.
I gotta click over here again. There you go. Bears. Here we are.
Yeah, this is... Well, obviously they couldn't even play 8 this week. I don't even know if Pano will play again.
I assume not. I would think it's a pretty safe bet to say Pano is not playing. So let's like... I'm gonna like talk about them from the position that Pano isn't playing.
I know Dynamic did 1 week and didn't want to play after.
He's back to BA.
AJ can't play himself. I don't know if Zulu's saving himself for playoffs. That could be a thing.
I don't think Zulu even knows fantasy's going on, man. Like
I feel like he had to have talked to him. Why would you pick someone who doesn't skill?
Well, like I think the draft was pretty hectic, man. Because I think all of the teams they didn't get their first pick. Like they like it just from the get-go, everything just kind of like went out the window, like in terms of planning of like the top couple of picks. So it got pretty hectic. So maybe he just said a name, man. I wouldn't put it past him to just say Zulu.
I don't think. I think he talked to him.
Yeah. So maybe, but the thing is, like, yeah, maybe Zulu, like, yeah, we don't know about, or I don't know at least, but maybe Zulu's like a playoff only pick. So if they get there,
he did play last fantasy, but he was more optimistic about it at that time. I think I know Wasby did talk to him this fantasy, so I think he probably talked to AJ as well.
What Bibles does he have?
I mean, I don't know.
Nothing. I'm looking at his page. You can see his page, right?
Yeah.
He has no Bibles.
I think he wants to do mining or something. Like last fantasy, he said he would do mining or fishing, but obviously that didn't pan out.
Yeah,
I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
I mean, we might not see because they might not even make playoffs, but
yeah. I just the one thing that I noted on our playoff watch thing over here is that I feel like they have some really great players, some really like some of the most skilled players in the game, and some of the people that can put up really insane weeks, especially in a 2-week back-to-back with a 72-hour break. You know, people like Blue Bonnet, Harmony, Hebox if he's motivated, Enjoys is really, that's a name that hasn't come up because he wasn't playing in week 5, but he's also one of the better players in the entirety of this fantasy so far. He's really been playing
120, average 115.
Yeah, exactly. So but like one thing I just think is that I love Levine, but you don't want to play Levine in playoffs. You know, like
Not.
you do not like. It's like if you 94 best. You know, like he if you could just push that to a 115 somehow. I don't know. Like maybe you.
I don't know if you would.
But that's the thing, right? Is that you start to get to even like Cap King, right? You're just playing arty, so like you can have 4, and then you start to get a bit shaky playing the rest of like the half of your roster. That's the issue, right?
Is Viewer like? Do you know if Viewer's gonna play on his ult? I know he kind of wanted to before fantasy started, but I didn't really
He loves
know
Worf.
anything about that after that.
I don't know right now. I would assume that if Bears had playoff chances, he would continue to fish on Worf, which is his Iron Man. Like that's the ult that he plays on. But like I know nothing for sure at all.
Yeah. I feel like he would.
Yeah,
but I
think he would for the boys. He's a champion, so like he has that mindset. So. Yeah. I think you hit 7 and 8, and like the Bears just have to like they're playing just stuff that while the players they either don't want to play or they can't put up enough hours. That's your 7 and 8. That's the problem on the Bears, I think. So, yeah,
I give low percentage on the winning a game in playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe under 15, you know.
So, I think. I'll put it back on this slide at the end here. Is that I think.
Wait. I need you to open up this link for me.
Yep. Yeah, I can open that up. Do you want me to just
just show it on the screen while we talk?
You know what I can do actually. I can like while we wrap up.
I just.
Just like I'll put it like over me or something.
Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a shout out to my clan.
Yeah. What's your clan?
My favorite skill named Solus.
Yeah, Solus. Okay, lovely.
Someone made some fan art of the clan, so I figured
that you'd share it. Yeah.
Share it with the world.
I'll put that on there. It's all good, man. So yeah, that's so your ranking is essentially so you can see this. So your ranking is essentially You would put Wizards, MTF, KKC, GVG, Bears. Am I correct? Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so
yeah. That is correct.
So I would put the exact same, but swap the top two. I would put MTF, Wizards, KKC, GVG, Bears. So it'll be and that's no Seagulls, no Crows. So that's and obviously no KK. So that is our recap. That is our podcast.
Thank you for the nearly 4 hour, no 3 hour long.
Yes, this is our 3 hour epic. I hope all of you watching at home are safe and well. I hope you're staying inside. Hope you're having fun during this fantasy. If you are playing, if you are participating, any last words, Pando, from you?
It is 4 a.m. I think I would want to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's 9 p.m. for me, so I started this one, quite early for me. It worked out for being in Australia a bit. So thank you, Pando, for doing this with me. This is really good.
Yeah.
And
no problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and I wish everyone viewing all the best. And I hope you have a good week, and good luck to everyone participating in week 6. And this has been good fun. So we'll end it here. Let me